obscure places, they may be alone, they may be poverty-stricken, they may be in the midst of riches, but you can always be sure the angel of God is present wherever his children are.
I'll be the one. Let's stay together. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the last day for us for Valorant here at the NACE Grand Finals. We had an action-packed day yesterday, but today we do battle one last time. A best-of-3 semifinals. Winner goes on to the Grands, loser packs they stuff, and they're out of there. I am Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lelo, UG, Masilela, and Evan, not really Evan Johnson. Guys, what do we got in front of us on the docket? Who's going at it?
I'm so locked and ready, bro. WINTHROP versus MARYVILLE. What
Yes, sir.
genuinely what everyone thought would be the grand finals is taking place here in the semis. And WINTHROP going through lowers in and of itself is crazy. Genuinely, nobody expected that, and I didn't. We all didn't. So I'm excited to see how they're going to fare up against each other in this match.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting because these two teams, you know, have so much history together. I mean, these guys have played each other so many times in big events, and now getting a chance to go out in the semis again. Maybe WINTHROP, like you said, going through the lowers, maybe not expecting to be in this position, but now they have a chance to right the ship, get back into grand finals, but it's going to be a really tough challenger in their way.
Man, yeah, it's really one of those matchups where you kind of see it and you're like, this shouldn't be what we have going on. But we can take a look at today's matches as well and see what we have lined up. It's exactly as we said, starting at 10 a.m. And man, this one, if it ends in 2, I think that would be the most shocking thing I've seen all the time. When these two teams usually go at it, in a best of 3, it goes to 3. In a best of 5, this thing always goes to 5. I mean, these two teams have done battle so many times before with each other. The history can just go on and on and on. But recently, it's always been Maryville who just get out over the edge.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be good either way. Then on the other side of the bracket, you have St. Clair and West Virginia. I mean, that was a bit of a surprise for us. I mean, obviously we're St. Clair supporters here, but we didn't have St. Clair getting this far in our initial predictions. So that 2-0 win against Winthrop, I think the biggest surprise of yesterday, despite, maybe the success that Rutgers had. We were big Rutgers fans here.
I'm a massive Rutgers
Their
fan.
tournament run came to an end against Winthrop, but
we don't even talk about it.
Man, they put on a really good show
sad.
for us today. But, obviously West Virginia, St. Clair also, I think, it'd be a really good game. Those are also two teams that whenever they go at it, it always seems to be a really, really exciting match. So going to be really interesting to see how this shakes up and who is going to be facing each other in the grand finals later on today.
Yeah, well, we have our lineup ready for Maryville. Let's go ahead and take a look at it right here. It's going to be the same faces we saw yesterday. Ainge, Wildfire, Giza, Renz, and Sean Dex as well. And man, let me tell you, between the consistency that these 5 have put on the table, I haven't even seen this team really bleed yet. I mean, yeah, they had a series that went to 3 against West Virginia where they were 2 rounds behind everyone else, but I mean, look at these highlights. They were just dominating everyone who came across their screen. And even then, when it went to 3, we got to see them on Fracture. That one wasn't even remotely close.
And this Maryville team is just such a well-oiled machine. And even that series that goes to 3, that's against another semifinals team in West Virginia. So this, the skill level definitely increasing, but Maryville just staying the course. They've been successful for so long. There's a reason why, you don't want to say infamous, but there's a reason why they are so known in the collegiate Valorant scene, because these guys are just the absolute top tier of collegiate talent right now and have just been doing it for so long and continuing to do it at grand finals this year.
Yeah, genuinely every game that we've seen of Maryville, and even the games that we haven't seen and just see the scores at the end, it's just like, yeah, that's Maryville. That we already knew they were going to win no matter what. But we don't know what's going to happen with Winthrop. As you were talking about, Patrick, it usually goes to 3, and if this ends in 2, I think everyone will be shocked. Personally, I have Maryville taking it in 3, but it could go either way, depending on the vetoes, of course.
And I think the other thing, real quick, sorry, that I was going to bring up as well is that Winthrop, they haven't looked like the unkillable beasts that we've seen before.
Yeah.
These guys, they've had a couple of struggles through day 1 as well, if you want to break some of that down.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can break down Winthrop, once we sort of get, in there. I have just some, final thoughts about Maryville. I think that will this, come into play? I think it might, because, Maryville, I mean, they've only dropped the 1 map, essentially. And Winthrop, like you said, they've had their struggles, going through lowers. So I think Maryville definitely coming into this one a little bit more fresh, a little bit more ready to go. And I think what you're saying is, like, I think this definitely could go either way. I probably would favor Maryville in this situation. But again, this is definitely a series that can go either way. And despite the struggles that Winthrop has had, we know who they are. We've seen their successes before. And we know that this is a team that, when faced with adversity, they're going to live up to the moment.
Yeah. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. That Tier 2 experience, it is so incredibly invaluable. And just the sheer fact that both of these teams have this experience, you already know. It's going to be such a high-level game that it's going to come down to the most minute details in the round, in-game, that is going to determine the winner. No shenanigans like we saw yesterday. Someone doesn't have to go huge every single round. It is genuinely going to be such a battle of wits that I'm personally, my analytical mind will enjoy watching it a lot. But we got to talk about Winthrop. We got to go through Winthrop because we know who they are. They know who they are, and they definitely have something to prove. We have Fair, Governor, Infiltrator, Veron, and Strong Tall Guy ending off that roster.
Man, I mean, what's there not to talk about with these guys, right? I mean, Fair, ex-St. Clair, was a great duelist player for us during his tenure here. Goes to Winthrop and immediately adapts to a new system where he has to then become a controller player for them, the Smokes, and he just somehow fits in perfectly, sublime. And it goes to speak to the talent that goes into this roster day in and day out, and the practice that they incorporate too. Infiltrator and Governor, you can't really talk about them enough, really. Stand-ins for Crew at one point, and these guys definitely have all the experience in the world that we need to be taken to get you to the very top, right? They were on an STG, again, more players who we've seen completely dominate through Div 1 as well, and have helped Winthrop get to the highest highs. So there's not really a whole lot else to say. I mean, these guys are all experienced. They know what it takes to get the job done, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they're definitely coming in here with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, given that it wasn't the cleanest run through yesterday as a lot of people expected them to have.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a factor, like you said. I think that chip on their shoulder is going to make this series just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more emotional stakes, I think, invested for Winthrop, I think. So if you would have said on day one that either Winthrop or Maryville is going to go home before even making it to the grand finals, I probably would have called you crazy, but that is the situation we're in now. One of these two teams is going to be going home after this game, and it's really going to be a dogfight to see who is going to be that one to be sent home.
Genuinely, it will. And I don't know, just the fact that Winthrop not only dropped a map to Rutgers day one, but St. Clair 2-0ing them. Yeah. You saw the passion at the end of the day. And if you're tapped into the socials, you saw the posts. Yeah. Like, we were hype. We were so hype. And even us watching here in the studio, we were hype for the players. And we barely got to see the route. We were trying to screen peek and look at their monitors through the stage cam. It was crazy. But no matter what, Winthrop, you were talking about it. They're not looking like the unkillable Demon King, sorry for the reference, that that they usually are. But on the flip side, it's Maryville. They've 2-0'd every single game that they've played, and they're here, and I don't know. They're looking very scary. We had Maryville as our number one going into this entire tournament in the beginning, and low-key, I want to stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But I'll tell you right now, some people that NACE want to stick with as well. A special thanks real quickly to our partners at Raven GG. Raven is the official merchandise gear and partner of NACE and the premier platform for creating your dream custom gear. Whether you're outfitting a team or building a brand, Raven gives schools everything they need to look their best. Visit raven.gg to start creating today. And also, thank you to GG Circuit as well. They are very proud to support NACE at this year's Grand Finals, showcasing some of the best collegiate esports programs in the country. No better than today to really be breaking that one down. And behind every great team is the right infrastructure, and that is where we come in. From player management and secure labs to tournament operations and remote support, GG Circuit powers the infrastructure behind every match, every scrim, and every championship moment. We simplify the technology so schools can focus on what matters most. Let coaches coach, let players compete. We will take care of the rest. If you are building or scaling your esports program, let's connect. GG Circuit is ready when you are.
Good ad read, Patrick.
Nice. Good way to start the day.
You redeemed yourself from yesterday. I apologize for saying you had the worst one.
You didn't see the ad read at the end of the day. That was a really good one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, it's all good. But, again, you got to hope that everyone's locked in. They've got either the Raven gear on, their GG Circuit good to go, and they've taken the right steps in preparation for today's matchup, because it is going to be such a heater. And, man, I guess there's not really much to do in terms of just breaking down, predictions, what we think maybe what the maps are going to kind of look like. What are the map stats for both of these teams as well? Because these were really the two big dogs coming into it, where we were kind of looking through here. Even in weaknesses, there's not really a whole lot to break down with that.
Well, I think if you're Winthrop, I think the biggest thing that you need to do is try your damnedest to get Fracture out of the map pool, because we saw how dominant Maryville was the first time we saw them on stream get to Fracture, and I mean, this was just complete and utter decimation for Maryville. It was, like a 13-3, a 13-2, I think, against West Virginia. I mean, either way.
I think it was a 13-4.
A complete thrashing from Maryville on Fracture, and I think that alone, if Winthrop is doing their due diligence and doing their research, they would know that this being Maryville's map, you need to somehow prioritize getting this out of the map pool at any means possible. But like you were saying yesterday, is that Maryville's kind of team where you can ban around a certain map or a couple maps, but they have the ability to just play every single map at a high level. So it's really like a pick your poison situation. Where do you think you have the best chance of winning? And that's maybe what the mentality should be for Winthrop going into this series.
Yeah, if I were to just get a shout on what I think the maps are going to be played, Haven 100%.
Yeah,
no matter what, I
agree.
think we're going to see Haven today. If it's first or second, no matter what, Haven is going to be played. Lotus, I would give that a maybe, if I'm being honest. Both teams have played Lotus, and I think both teams are good at Lotus. I would give the edge to Maryville, in my opinion, but on Haven, I kind of want to give it to Winthrop just because of their comp and how they like insert players so incredibly well. If I were to call a third, I would low-key be down for Split. If I'm gonna be honest, I'd kind of be down for Split to be third map, because I don't see a world in which we play Breeze. If I'm Maryville, I think we'd ban Breeze, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Patrick?
Well, you know what I think is, unfortunately, I'm getting word that there is some technical difficulties at the LAN right now, so we're going to have to split and take a quick break. Hopefully, we'll be back in a breeze.
My name is Ryan Murky Mojica. I am a coach at George Mason University Esports Call of Duty team, and I am a computer engineering and computational data science student. When I first needed a car, I was 18, I was straight out of high school, driving a Chevy Suburban up 45 minutes in rush hour every day, and I kind of just got to a point where I kind of wanted something a little bit more enjoyable. InTouch was actually in the same building that I worked in. You know, I went to my dad and asked, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to get a new car. And he said, like, all right, let's go over to InTouch. There was a lot of uncertainty going into this process. I was expecting a lot of paperwork, a lot of numbers, really understand kind of how any of this worked. The person we were talking to was actually a car guy, so he was almost like really excited. He's like, yeah, you're getting your first car, you know, what are you getting? Having a car really helped me travel for esports events, and not only that, it just gives me the ability to be the team dad. I give my players rides, get to campus for NACE matches, and just supporting the team in a bigger way that I wouldn't be able to before. If any NACE students are looking for financial tools, resources, and support from people who care, I recommend checking out InTouch Credit Union. With graduation coming up, I honestly don't think I'd be where I'm at in my financial journey without them.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
blood orange morning, we hardly slept. Polished chrome, tinted glass, the way you looked then. We slept with our heads together, we had the same dream. Cityscape and the chipped door piece. Hit the roof of the car, driving through the yellow light. Golden glow reflecting your smile in the night. I'll let your red shotgun as the sun is fading. Oh, we'll get out of here, baby. Out on the lakeside, where we stopped to rest, 1,000 miles from home, but we never felt this close. We'll start a new life in a new kind of light, where the water's never murky and the sky is clear. We slept with our heads together, we had the same dream. New town in the window of a train. Going 85 under a street light. Empty freeway in the middle of the night. I'll let you DJ.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here at NACE Grand Finals. We are almost ready to get underway. My name is Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lelo UG, Massey Lela, and Evan, not really Evan Johnson. Guys, we're only a few minutes out from getting into game. I've been told that I'm pretty sure maps are ready, but we have to speculate until we see it here, because we don't actually know yet. So, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. What do you think needs to go down for Winthrop to take this one away? I think I want to get into the keys. The keys to victory for them.
Yeah, I think Fracture has to be their first ban, and then you can kind of run with it. If I had to be honest, I believe Winthrop would ban Fracture first if Maryville chose Team B. But
wait, that was way quicker. Oh, there we go.
Yo,
dang!
We're playing on.
Uh-oh.
Wait, Fracture's a Winthrop's pick. No,
Fracture's
that's
Maryville's
Maryville's
pick.
Wait, I can't read. No, but still, how did they let that through? We banned Pearl and Haven over Fracture. This is a weird pool.
With Lotus the decider.
I want to give it to Maryville. It's just looking at maps alone, I want to give it to Maryville. I think we already know about their Fracture.
Yeah.
And Bind is a strong map for
Maryville as well, and which
it's
is
a
weird
weaker
because
map
like
for Winthrop.
Maryville a 74% win rate on 43 games, Bind for Winthrop a 57% win rate on 42 games according to VOR. So definitely a little bit of a head scratcher, I think, right off the rip. And then Lotus, I think, for both teams coming in as a stronger pick, but definitely more skewed towards Maryville. And well, I have to agree with you. I think this map pool heavily benefiting Maryville.
Yeah, I'm really at a loss for like how these vetoes went and how this got through in this manner. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know.
Man, I'm at a loss right now because it's like I'm sorry. From what I saw Giza doing on the Tejo yesterday on Fracture with the Breach combination, it's weird when you have two initiators in any map nowadays, right? In the big 2-6, but when it's Fracture and Maryville's the one running it, I mean, that comp just works, and it was doing wonders. So much forcing util that drives people out of power positions, and it really just means that, hey, who would have known, in a map like Fracture where there's almost nowhere safe to sit, they make it 100% clear with the comp they run. Yeah, no, there is literally nowhere safe to stay. You will not be able to lurk in a spot for more than 10 seconds without being moved or forcefully moved by us.
Yeah, no, genuinely. I wouldn't be too surprised, honestly, if we saw kind of a mirror matchup with the Breach Tejo.
Yeah.
Low key, if Winthrop do run the Breach Tejo Raze, And the brim.
The brim, too, on both
Yeah.
sides. Yeah, you would think.
We could actually see a perfect mirror. There could genuinely be a perfect mirror if both teams play Cypher.
Which you would assume is a possibility. I mean, at
Yeah,
least for
no, it's
Maryville,
very,
you would
very possible.
assume that the Cypher's going to get brought out. And I think the other thing for Winthrop, too, is you start on attack. So Maryville's starting on defense. So if you're not able to get a lot of value out of your attack round, you might as well call it cooked there, because the Maryville Fracture attack is absolutely lethal. Like, it is so incredible how quickly they can execute and manipulate, you know, teams on this map. It's like, you know, it's like puppets dancing on a string almost. So if Winthrop aren't able to come out of their own attack side with a bigger number on their side, I might have to just give that one to Maryville at that point, because I know that they're going to be a second half team on this one. And then even going to bind with this being Winthrop's pick, I still don't really know if that's where you'd want to go. Like, does that give you the best chance to beat Maryville? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of them ones where I'm like, look, with the way how Maryville was just able to seamlessly read every one of West Virginia's moves on that map, right? And, man, I don't even know. I just feel like it's just such an easy lock for these guys with just the style that they play with as well, right? Man, it's just tough. I don't get how Winthrop is going to come into this matchup, get through map 1, and be like, okay, now we're going to take Maryville to bind.
Yeah.
And happy days.
Yeah. And again,
Where's the happy day? There's no happy days. This is doom and despair.
if we're being honest, Maryville could play Tejo on bind as well. If we're being so real with ourselves, they could play Tejo on bind too, and I wouldn't be mad at a breach. It'd just be different, you know, on bind. I don't know.
I don't think they go that
think they
far.
would
I
either,
think it's
but-
just really just the fracture comp is kind
Yeah.
of just for that one. But at the same time, you know what? I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say like it's wrong to assume that Maryville are gonna bow out in 2. If they play the way they played in day 1 right now, they're going out in 2.
You mean Winthrop?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Winthrop.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad.
I was like,
Sorry.
What that
If
mean?
Winthrop played the same way they played in day 1 and day 2 against a Maryville team that we've seen up to thus far, and you're taking them to fracture and bind in the first 2, you're out in 2. And I think that, you know what, that's the beauty of it, is we get to see the fire that's lit under Winthrop. If they want to make a difference here, and I definitely believe they can, because, again, like I said, anytime these two teams play, it's rarely in any sort of dominant facet that a team becomes victorious. We usually see them go counterpunch for counterpunch, map for map, and we usually go to see it last the distance. So, man, we'll have to see. It definitely doesn't look like it here through our speculations, but hey, based on history, doesn't mean that it can't happen again. Tends to repeat itself.
yeah, I'm definitely leaning. I think the safe pick still is Maryville in 3. I think that is where my head's at, but again, based on these maps and what we're sort of talking about, I think that has sort of changed it a little bit for me, is that I think it might be a little bit more realistic to say that Maryville could take this in 2, depending on how Winthrop comes out, because you're already behind the 8 ball on Fracture and then going to another strong map of Maryville's on Bind as your own pick. I mean, definitely a little bit strange, but at least that's where I'm sitting here. I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping either way it's going to be an exciting series no matter what happens. Who knows? Maybe Winthrop comes out and surprises us. Maybe this bind is something they've been working on and they feel confident in taking Maryville there. But, again, we'll have to wait and see until we get into server.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it behind any of these top teams to have some maps like this in their back pocket, but I'm still sat here scratching my head because, in my opinion, if I'm Winthrop, I would rather play a more neutral map like Pearl, where if you do have some strats, you can just rely on those and just pure shooting to take you to a map win, rather than give them Fracture and then take them to Bind. And then if it goes to 3, you go to Lotus. I don't know.
And see, you're talking about a neutral map. Is that Winthrop's first ban was a neutral map? It was Haven. That was the first
that's
one
what
they
I'm
banned.
saying. Like,
so
I
I would love to know what the mentality and the thought process was in the bans for this one.
Especially when you have someone like Infiltrator on your team, right? Who is just really known as the neon walk 'em down, run 'em down, whatever you want to say. Rutgers player equivalent that you get on Winthrop, right? I mean, Infiltrator has just shown over the years that really just kind of sticks to one thing. And you know what he's going to do, and he's still going to beat you at that one thing. He's that damn good. And it's weird to see overall, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with you guys here. A little bit of a head scratcher, and we truly just won't really know until we get in. Maybe Winthrop have VOD reviewed, and they've found something. Look, there's a reason they've done what they've done. It's not like they've looked at the series and been like, yeah, I just don't want to be at Full Sail anymore. Here, Maryville, take the win. Like, that's not how it's going to go, right? So clearly they've seen something, whether they've done their homework on them, whether they've noted that there's definitely a weakness that they know they can exploit. There's a reason these maps have been picked the way they've been picked. And I have a feeling that Winthrop, they might have an ace up their sleeve.
We'll have to wait and see. And if that is the case, that is really exciting as a concept to think about. Maybe Winthrop hasn't really been showing their true potential in this tournament. But again, I mean, it's going to have to come out now because when your backs are against the wall in crunch time, you know, you have to play your best game today, right? And obviously there are a lot of things, you know, a lot of narratives. You know, the 2-0 loss to St. Clair, definitely a little bit surprising. I think for Winthrop, I think that would have come as a little bit of a surprise. An expected run through lowers, and now you have a chance to sort of get things under control again. But it's going to be tough, man. Like, I think for Winthrop, this is just the nightmare scenario. You know, you lose in uppers, and then you have to face Maryville before you even get to the grand finals where you play either the winner of West Virginia and St. Clair, who have been playing very well on land. And I mean, St. Clair especially. St. Clair has beaten them.
They're undefeated so far. St. Clair,
yeah. They've dropped one map.
St. Clair and Maryville, the only teams who have gone through undefeated, and both of them only dropping one map. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What a world we live in, by the way.
Crazy.
Dude, we said it day one, like so early into yesterday. Please prove us wrong, and I think the team that's most proved us wrong this entire tournament is St. Clair.
I agree.
If we're being honest, the run that they've had has been insane, and the 2-0 win in, I believe, 15-13 overtime on Fracture against Winthrop yesterday to close it out 2-0, crazy work. Like, genuinely congratulations to them because they deserve that win and then some.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm now thinking about it right there. We saw glimpses of the fact that Tillo would have been the one playing Teo on that as well. And now this is really kind of boggling my mind. So you've actually dropped Fracture to a team that's, let's just say, not even as good as Maryville on Fracture.
Exactly.
And we're going to Fracture.
That dude. Just you
the math ain't maybe the math ain't mathing, man. You know, like, I want to believe in Winthrop. I want to say, like, okay, maybe you have like something up your sleeve ready to go. I don't know, man. I don't know, because if it's going to be the same thing, that makes me think that again you have the Teo and Tillo MVPing. Sure, that there's not a lot of story to build off of that. We don't have stats on that or whatnot. But what I can tell you is that means, hey guys, guess what? The Teo comp, it absolutely works against these guys. And, you know, there might be a guy named Giza on that team. You know, I don't know if you've heard of him.
He's up and coming.
Used to be a teammate of Tillo's, you know, like,
I don't think,
Sheriff
you know, I don't think they'll run it. Rank
Demon,
no,
we don't know. Okay.
No. They're not going to run it.
He's not going to pick Teo, guys.
So
he is going to pick Teo. I don't know, man. I'll believe. Look, to me, it's kind of the thing where I'm just kind of sitting here with Winthrop, waiting in the wings, and I'm like, man, you beating Maryville, I'll believe it when I see it right now. And like I've said, in Div 1, it just recently went down where Maryville won that matchup. Last NACE Grand Finals, it was the same thing, where these two found each other battling it out, and I believe it was a best of 5.
Yes.
And Maryville ended up taking it. Winthrop, they got off to a good start. Granted, Moobs was playing at the time, and, you know, he has an insane thing where if he goes positive on Chamber, the team, like, almost never loses, right? Mm-hmm. He did for map 1. They won, and then nothing could really kind of get going, and they just not burgered out the rest of the series, but essentially Maryville just gained the upper hand. They kind of sat back and noted, okay, this is what they do. All right, cool. Well, now they're going to our map, and then they just kind of work the momentum off of that, right? This is going to be one of those situations where it's like, I just don't know, dude. I think it's one of these ones I just don't see Winthrop taking it in any which way, shape, or form is what my common sense is trying to tell me.
Yeah, and we saw it yesterday in the Maryville-Stony Brook game. Stony Brook, they were up at one point. They were getting rounds on Maryville, but Maryville so incredibly quickly figured them out, figured out what made them tick, and they ran with it. They ran with it in map 1, and then map 2, we already know how that ended up. So if Maryville can figure you out before the half,
You're cooked.
it's deep fried.
You're cooked.
you're
And
so cooked.
Didn't we see that in the West Virginia series as well? I mean, there was a map. It was a map 2 where Maryville is down 6-0, and then they just go on this incredible run to come back and win in overtime or right before overtime.
Yeah.
So this is a team that when you think you have the leg up on them, they can just turn right back around and surprise you. So that's another reason why this team is so dangerous, not just for all the other things we talked about, the map skill, the individual player skill. It's the mentality that they're able to just fight back whenever things get tough.
Man, it's almost like teams that start slow and kind of study their opponents and then explode later is kind of what teams are having success at LAN. I wonder what other team is having that success who starts slow usually. Oh, it's St. Clair. Wait, I forgot about that. Yeah. And if you see the venue cam right here, maybe you can spot them out. We'll see. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, it just seems to be that these style of teams are usually the ones who are coming out on top, at least for Orlando so far.
Speaking of St. Clair, I can see them in the foreground there. I can spot the white jerseys right there. Looks like the boys are getting warmed up at their stations.
Sure.
It's going to be a good game.
St. Clair, West Virginia.
Do we have predictions for that series? We're not going to see it, but
My
what do we
heart
think is going to
says
happen?
St. Clair in 3. My heart says St. Clair in 3. And if I had to predict the 2 grand finalists that I want, St. Clair Maryville. I think St. Clair Maryville would be not only a banger grand finals, but very good for our players because they've been playing out of their minds this tournament, and they continue to do so. They have a pretty good shot at grands.
I'm thinking the same as well. I think St. Clair can get it done. It's going to be a dogfight either way. Like West Virginia is going to be a really, really tough out.
Yeah.
I think in this tournament, but I think with the Winthrop series going the way it had, and obviously the confidence is there for St. Clair, and Patrick, we talk about this all the time, is that when St. Clair's mental is peaking and when they're up,
They can't be stopped.
are so up, right? We have never been more back if we're St. Clair. So I think you just have to tap into that today. Don't, succumb to the mental chalk early. We need to make sure we get off to a hot start. We'll see how the map bans come through. I would assume that St. Clair would want to pick into Lotus. I would think that would be the one that they're going to try and force out, but
Hey, they might even get a fracture in there. If you're taking that off of Winthrop,
Yeah,
might as well pick that fracture.
And that was a map that West Virginia did not look very good on at all against Maryville.
Yeah.
So that actually might be the play in that case.
Hey, this team, they love to hide things from us, if we're being honest. They love to put things in their back pocket that we honestly didn't really know. Because if I'm not incorrect, we haven't really seen St. Clair play Fracture throughout the semester, and only really here at NACE Grand Finals.
You know what the problem is, though, is I feel like what I want to happen is I want St. Clair and Winthrop to win their series so we can have 2 teams that we haven't really seen a whole lot of in the grand finals, so we just get to watch that, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, man, the thing with St. Clair is how are they going to contain the man, the myth, the legend, Leone from yesterday, right? Leone and also Dinks, I keep talking about it. I haven't really seen a whole lot of how this guy has been able to operate like he has sometimes in previous seasons of Div 1 where you're just leading ACS, this really super aggressive dive duelist who's just absolutely taking names no matter where he steps, right? And I know that, again, it's there. It's here in Orlando. He can definitely bring it out, but so far has definitely looked a lot more cautious and, what's the word I guess I'm looking for? Patient. And haven't seen him really just kind of explode on the kill radar. It's really just been, hey, how can I make an impact in terms of creating space, which technically that's all you got to do is a dive. And then how can my team clean up the rest of the round? And Leone on the Senti has definitely been doing that the entire time. And, it's a working formula for Stony Brook. Don't know if that's going to really work as a 2-man wrecking crew against a team like St. Clair, who can definitely get it popping on all cylinders. But the matchup that I'm definitely looking at is you have a holding sentinel like JP who loves to wait for his timings and play for those positional gaps. You're looking at Dinks and you're thinking, well, it's going to be a matchup of who's going to get who in that regard, and then how do you hold the rest of the team going forwards.
And you say St. Clair's a two-man wrecking crew, but I'd argue
I was saying West Virginia.
Oh, West
was it?
Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, because St. Clair, I feel everyone on that team can really, really turn up when you need them. Tillo, notably, MVPing that final match, or that final Fracture game against Winthrop yesterday.
Yep.
Looking like Giza, if we're being honest, looking like Giza on the Tejo. And then
From what we could see, looking
what we could see,
through the venue cam onto the monitors.
If everyone at home, this is how we were watching the end of that
the
St. Clair
absolute
game.
worst way.
The
for this
venue
to happen.
cam that you see right now is how we all were watching that game and how we saw the St. Clair one. So it was us trying to figure out what round it was, who was where, who was still alive, who was dying. It was a mess. But
We were actually doing a pretty good job.
exactly,
all
we were doing
things
a really good
considered.
job.
To
of,
be
like,
fair,
jacking.
we did have Riot Client open as well, so we could see.
I didn't.
Well, we had it open in the back. We could see.
Oh,
we
me
could
and
s-
Lello were
we
like
could-
literally
we could
standing
see-
right on
yeah.
the
We
TV.
could see.
Yeah.
We could see Seth like in like your friend tab or whatever. Like it shows you the round diff. So
Oh,
like,
we didn't know that.
We were
I didn't
able to
know
follow along with round diff, but yeah, just an insane way for us to watch. And we also have our sources inside the LAN as well. Relaying information back and forth. Shout out to the social media team that's repping St. Clair at the event right now. Get some good content for us. Had some bangers posted last night.
the phase meme
That was
that
so
they
good.
posted, that was good.
That was really good.
Have you
that was a
seen the
good
one where like you pull the blanket off of?
Yeah,
the
it was-
it's just Woody.
Player
just
check-in is
screaming.
at 8 a.m. St. Clair players at 7:99 a.m. I'm like
99?
That's what. Yes, that's what it said.
It said $7.99.
It said 7.99. That's what we
Yo,
posted.
You
alright.
clearly didn't get enough sleep last night,
My
Patrick.
socials,
You
my
weren't reading
socials
the
team is
tweet
wilding,
correct.
bro.
Look, I didn't clue that. We're in college. That's crazy. Yeah, that's insane. All right, well, you know what? We can move this thing along right here. Look at this. Fracture, we got agents,
don't bring
and
the Tejo.
we
God.
are not surprised at all when we look at Maryville's roster.
Honestly, I'm surprised that the mirror matchup didn't come through. Well, you have your head in your hands right now. A visceral reaction to seeing Governor on Sky.
I feel this Sky provides little to no value in terms of attacking because of what Breach can do and how far his util can go. Tejo is just infinitely better in this situation, in my opinion. The chamber is completely fine. I'm not upset with Varon on chamber, but I believe Governor on Sky is kind of a misplay, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I'm honestly also surprised that we didn't see the mirror matchup come through, just because we know how Maryville is going to want to play this. I think the chamber is solid. I mean, Veyron, just for pure DPS ability, I think that has potential to pop off. But if you're not able to get things set, and if you're just being bullied by a Breach and a Tejo the entire time,
It'll be hard.
yeah,
It'll be very, very hard.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think I have Maryville taking this one, even with agents coming through. I think this is their map to lose.
Well, wait no longer. Here we go. NACE Grand Finals, semifinals. We've got Maryville. We've got Winthrop. We've got a B main hit. Let's see how Infiltrator and the crew decide to attack this one.
Infiltrator and crew trying to get out onto the site very, very early, but it's going to be Shondex and Ange kind of leading the charge and forcing them to stop. Shondex even swinging out that smoke alone, and this fast flank is finally going to come through. Varon going to be left alone in the 1v3, and already this entire team is just falling apart. Seems Maryville's attack was just a hair too slow, and Winthrop able to take that first round.
Actually, I believe that was...
No, sorry, the
yeah,
teams are swapped, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's Winthrop who's starting on the attack. And again, this is the kind of map where if you're Winthrop, you need to try and find value out of these attack rounds, because you're going into the Lion's Den right off rip. And we know how good Maryville's attack can be. And their defense is also pretty good. I mean, there's a reason why these guys are so highly touted, and, they just make it look so easy on a map like Fracture. And for Winthrop, you know, we sort of expected them to struggle a little bit out the gate, but an early 2-0 deficit most likely. You're going to have to find a way to right the ship very, very quickly if you want to stay in this game.
Yeah, well, I don't think that, you know, Maryville is going to have any problem with refocusing as Winthrop. They're going to continue to see what they can do as you see the walk up on this arcade side. Renz holding close as Wildfire is going to be the one to take the first engagement through this mid-area. Wildfire is going to be able to find two, but a collateral from Renz is going to put everything on ice. Veyron finds one solo in B, but now it's really a question of if you're going to be able to live up to the peak on Renz, and the answer is going to be no. Takes you down. Give him the 3K off a Collat as well. Looking good with the Outlaw.
Yeah, no matter how good Renz was looking, it's really off of the back foot of that Wildfire 2K with the Spectre and the Ghost having to swap all but instantly snap onto that one, getting so many players such low HP, doing more than his job was asking for, thankfully. And obviously, Renz looking clean with that Outlaw, one with the Collat, and just a nice little single onto Veyron. Cleans up that round pretty decently for Maryville. And now, the first buy, Winthrop gonna have to change some stuff around to be able to get back into this.
And this is really where you want to see Winthrop start to change the narrative, right? If you go down 3-0 here, it's so hard to find your way back. And Giza, he's going to be moved out of this position. A lot of util coming his way, but that smoke giving him cover to escape into the night. So Winthrop's still able to get this attack set up on this A alongside. Gonna get some intel with Governor Skydog, but Maryville ready and have rotated through. It's gonna be fair though, finding that first pick. Infiltrated with another one. And look at Winthrop. They come out, they find 3 picks, able to get this site execute going.
Well, they definitely have a little more of an advantage as they can buy up, and a lot of these players that died in round number 2 are just going to make sure that they have pistols and shields, and that's really it. Infiltrator and STG going to be the last ones to figure it out, and hey, you know what? All good. You deny Maryville the bonus at the minimum. You find yourself around on the docket.
Yep, all's well that ends well for Winthrop. Only dropping 1 player, having to rebuy shields, a little bit of money going to be lost, yes, but if you keep 4 of your rifles, that is definitely around well worth it. And now getting into this 4th, Maryville, well, we're going to see a lot more stabilization from them with these rifles.
Well, you would hope so. I mean, it was, you know, you don't want to say a gamble for Maryville to not invest, but I think they're trying to play the long game here. You know, you drop the 1, you don't take the bonus spike. You're looking to just get things going and rewrite the ship. I think
Trap destroyed.
I think Maryville now should be able to anticipate this B hit. We already see some players rotating over, although you do have Renz a little bit late to the party. Shondex with the first one. Whoa! It's a nice flick onto Infiltrator. He is going to fall to Fair, who adds another one, but Maryville, this defense still very, very strong for recent Wildfire. He's continuing to be burning with the fire of 1,000 suns on this B site. STG going to fall as well. Maryville get back in the win column.
And a decent nade as well from Giz on the Teo, just forcing the position to be player to be moving through tower, and you know that Renz has an idea you're going to pop out more or less on the arcade side. You got the double back. Well, you got 2 players watching that right there, so kind of
nice.
Trapped like a fish in a barrel. There's nothing really that you can do. And Maryville, definitely with the rifles in hand, showing that, hey, you know what? This is great that you had your 1 round. Now that we got on equal footing with you gun-wise, this map is ours, and we're going to show it to you right now.
Man, I love this proactivity and confidence from this Maryville squad. Looking so nice getting into that A main, into that space so early, breaking that chamber trip. They really forced Winthrop to get uncomfortable, try and take that site, and man, Shondex looking clean, but Renz on this close angle might be able to do quite a bit of damage. It's going to be Giza opening us up, and with Spike left in virtually no man's land. Why are we swinging that? Veyron and Fair cleaning up those kills, and now back in the 2v2. Maryville seems to have thrown a bit of numbers advantage there.
I was going to say, I mean, it looked like they had everything. And like you said, Spike in a little bit of an awkward position, and they just decide to maybe ego swing that, but hey, whatever happens, I mean, Winthrop is going to take it. Spike back in their control. 2v2 or 2v1, I should say, as Fair will fall. Veyron Oh my goodness, almost getting burnt to a crisp with that molly, but still 2 HP and a dream, but yeah, not even going to be able to get that spike down as well. Maryville is a little bit hairy and maybe a little bit more interesting than they were hoping for, but they still walk away with the round win.
Yeah, I mean, good on Ainge to at least just clean up the round there with the double, but at the same time, let's be real here. You do not have to take that swing against Veyron with the Headhunter. It's just, I get it, the ego chow, all right, cool, but at the end of the day, you know, good on Veyron for at least giving you a humbling experience and just saying, okay, you know what, just because it's your map doesn't mean we're going to allow you to play stupid and still be successful. Don't get me wrong, they win the round, but at the same time, you're losing crucial bodies. So, hey, we're going to have a timeout by Winthrop. It makes complete sense in my opinion. You've kind of just been punched straight in the teeth for this one, but I can't say that this wasn't expected when we were looking at this map, seeing as we were going to be headed here first.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting anything less from this Maryville squad. The strength that they've shown on Fracture and the strength that they're very obviously showing right now against Winthrop is, honestly, it's a treat to see. And even if they're just swinging for fun in that previous round, they're still, no matter what, they're still able to come out with the win. And a very early timeout for Winthrop. It might be panicking a little bit. It's just seeing what they can do in this attack, because so far it's been extremely linear. All 5 A main, all 5 B main, no matter what, they've just been funneling through the same choke in Maryville. They've been capitalizing off of that.
And it's going to be tough for Winthrop as well, because you eco a little bit of a half. I mean, I guess a hero Bucky in the hands of Infiltrator. Veyron will have the showstopper, so you do have fragging potential, but it's all dependent on if you can find some early success with your opening engagements. I think if Maryville walk away with 1 or 2 picks to start, Winthrop's already lost this round.
I mean, it's more or less the timeout is being taken to just see if you can get anything moving going forwards in this half and how you can really salvage it, because at the end of the day, you're looking at minimum possibly a 5-1 to start out. The brimstone smoke is going to dissipate, but it just gets placed right back after. And this is such a weird position for Veyron as well. I was going to say, you really don't need to be getting this close if you have the tour de force. Like, let someone else kind of take that alley and instead just work the backside. And unfortunately, they may be walking right into a fault line, and that could also result in a rolling thunder as well.
Such a big stun from Wildfire, just burning the clock. And you're talking about the rolling thunder being held out off of any sort of contact. You already know that it's going to be sent. And with only 30 seconds left, Winthrop, they have to make something happen. It's going to be thrown out. Veyron and Fair are going to be able to find 2 picks of their own. Now it's up to Ange to hold down the fort in main, but the Stinger is too strong. Strong, tall guy is able to get that pick, and Shondex going to be noted out on the flank. Has to 1v3 to win this round.
Spike planted.
Maryville in a position they probably didn't want to be in. I think this was looking to be a round they should take, but Winthrop really taking advantage of this eco. Fair going to upgrade. I think it's going to be Veyron, actually, who's going to upgrade to the rifle. Still the tour de force at hand, so still have a chance, and doesn't even matter. They get it done on the Thrifty. That's a big swing in terms of momentum for Winthrop. Definitely needed after having to force that timeout early.
Yeah, and you know what? Brainless caster moment for me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, you know, it's an eco, all done and dusted. And then I forget, oh, wait, Veyron has, like, the best weapon in the game right now. Now, obviously, it's not looking good when we're watching 4 people just crashing in from the A door side, and you have a breach who already knows that there's at least 2 that are stacking there, and you have a rolling thunder that if it commits, it's probably hitting 4 people. Unfortunately, for Maryville, everybody on Winthrop was actually already so close to that mid side that the rolling thunder went past them, right? So only 1 person got knocked up by it, and then after that, it really seemed like through the fast lane, they cut the sight line, and they immediately took the ground that they needed to in Winthrop.
Speaking of taking ground, Winthrop now finally going at so many different angles. Shondex having to spin on a dime, turn around, unaware of these players in main, and now finally, Winthrop have some sort of opportunity, but it's going to be Renz
Running low.
with the overdrive, taking so much space himself, and with the classic, has to try and get that kill on the strong, tall guy.
No way.
He's going to be able to find it, but off the back of a Governor, 2K, sorry, call that 3. This round is looking done and dusted for Winthrop.
Ren still is going to get a chance to upgrade, but like you said, it should be in
planted.
Winthrop's favor. Last time they were in a 1v3, they were able to find it, and that's going to give away Ren's position, and Veyron will put the nail in that coffin. Winthrop slowly chipping away at that lead. Still 1 round diff, but finally some positive momentum going the way of Winthrop. Clearly that timeout much needed to just get things under control, get the mental back, and now it's a whole new ballgame.
And mind you, still very early on as well.
Yeah.
So I actually love the early timeout here to kind of just get yourself back into the matchup. You don't want to have this one snowballing already in Maryville's favor, because that just doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't help in the matchup facet. It doesn't help in the mental, right? So you definitely want to try to find a way to get yourself into it. Good awareness on Winthrop's coach that you needed to take that step and you needed to give the players that time to talk things over. It's worked beautifully. That being said, Infiltrator dead instantly off of his pressure.
Off of the back of that Ange orbital strike, Infiltrator going to be left on virtually an island, so alone towards that Sands angle. And now you see the Neural Theft going to note out all these Winthrop players, and Maryville responding accordingly, moving in tandem towards that B dish area, and so much space, so much information, and time on their side. It's only looking like Maryville's round win. Unless Winthrop, and I'm looking at Veyron in particular, can go huge.
Yeah, investing early into this attack op, definitely a solid play. He's going to try his best to clear this tight angle, and likes what he sees. He's going to get rid of the tripwire. More cues for Maryville. Let's get this defense set. Here comes the execute Governor. Gonna try and get a flash in, but this rolling thunder coming through. Gonna have to push Winthrop back. You're not gonna find any casualties except for the one that Shondex finds, and Veyron will fall as well. Maryville look to get things back under control. They do, not conceding to that tie. Looking very, very strong. Big picks from Shondex to make sure that happens for Maryville.
Yeah, it's good from Shondex to just make sure that you can right the ship, as you say, Evan, and you can immediately see that Renz is just absolutely having a field day early on and is definitely generating the space that Maryville wants him to. And, you know, all that being said, and you got to remember, it's a Neon doing this on defense. On a map like Fracture, this is probably the one spot where you're going to be able to play the defense as if you're like the attacking side. That's really what Fracture is. It's just two sides on attack, essentially. And, hey, Maryville, they're showing that sometimes they can play like that, too, when they want to three-man swing into Veyron for absolutely no reason in an earlier round that we saw before. But I like the attitude. And with the Rolling Thunder coming through, it's now going to be Giza and company who want to try to stop this. It's a huge kill from Wildfire. No clue how he gets that one off, but it's absolutely amazing. Nonetheless, the Brim Smokes go down, and they have absolutely stuffed Winthrop's attempt.
Honestly, awesome combo utility. Is Wildfire able to get out of that situation while full stun. Only has to hit Infiltrator once in the body after he got tagged by the salvo. And now Winthrop, they're left to pick up the pieces. And in this situation that's looking almost impossible to get out of, they have to wonder. They have to decide. They have to make a decision now. But look at Shondex on the opposite side of that rope. He's so ready for this rotate. He's so ready to just catch these players on a little bit of a loud timing. It's going to be Veyron with that op, just seeing if he can find anything, any sort of piece, any pick that Maryville will give him. And if he clears out Wildfire in this situation, it will go his way, but shot's too clean.
Shots too clean, and it's going to be another one going the way of Maryville. So Fair left to his own devices, and like you said, you have to maybe make a decision, and maybe a little bit too slow on that was Winthrop, because you put yourself in an almost unwinnable situation. Wildfire with a triple, and Maryville, after a brief showing of life from Winthrop, have started to claw their way back in, and now they already hit 6. And remember, we said earlier, if you're not able to come out of your attacker side with a positive number against Maryville, it's going to be really, really hard to stuff them once they get to their attacker rounds.
I'm not trying to be too overcritical here. I'm just wondering why the chamber would be the first one to peek a close angle when you have a rifler right next to him. Like, there's something a little bit waiting on that for me, but hey, at the end of the day, Maryville will take that all day. You take the op out of the hands of Veyron, and now he's going to have to start all the way back from scratch as you don't even get to save that one. Renz on this side going to be able to have an op in his pocket. Ooh, the shot just barely missed. The stun comes through, though, and just going to be able to find one, and Shondex with another. And just like that, it's 2 down, 3 to go, and given the weaponry gap, yeah, I don't think it's going to be very long until you see the Flawless come through. Maryville, Fracture is their map, and we're all just playing in it.
This is genuinely just their world, and we're just here for the ride. We are here as humble spectators, honestly witnessing greatness. Shondex with zero hesitation, zero fear in his heart, just swinging everything. No through the smoke, no flash, no support. He's just in there like swimwear, and he swims out of that situation with 3. The money is so incredibly good for Maryville, and if Winthrop want to bring this to a 7-5 half, they need to take this round, because if not, this is looking like a 9-3 for Maryville.
I don't even think that's too far out of the realm of possibility at this point. And I mean, it's not just pacing. You need some guys on your team to step up. I mean, your 2 big players, Governor and Infiltrator, have just been completely shut out. Infiltrator only has 2 picks in this round. Like, not having the ability to have that dive duelist who can actually, like, create space and find early picks, that just shuts so many things down. And Maryville's defense has been so strong where even finding 1 or 2 picks is enough to swing around for them. So for Winthrop, I need to see a really coordinated attack here.
Look at Renz. Look at Renz off this flank. He does get the shot off, and with the short, he turns around off the TP and is able to find Veyron. Now with the ability to flank, if he so chooses, this map, it's so open for Maryville.
And that's your Opera gone immediately.
Yeah.
And you got to think right now, off of Evan, what you were saying for Infiltrator, it simply isn't going to get any easier for this Neon. This tree line is going to come through, though. The fault line able to work into tower. The double stun, that is so toxic. Infiltrator's going to work in, and finally you get some space. 1 off of the full blind, 2. It's absolutely working this time for Winthrop as the Rolling Thunder to come back in. It's the counter pressure right now. Let's see if they can handle it. Governor's going to be able to finally put down the man in Renz who's trying to advance up. And now STG just needs to sit and wait as Governor can do the rest. You were just talking about how your 2 stars on Winthrop needed to get going in an absolutely critical round. They've answered the beck and call.
And that's exactly what you needed. Well, you were talking about how this was an absolutely critical round that Winthrop needed, and they lived up to the challenge. I mean, Infiltrator just dogging on him for having a really bad game thus far, but 2 massive picks, Governor as well. That is enough to make this somewhat feasible for Winthrop as we head to the final round of the half. But again, you want to make this a 7-5. You don't want to give Maryville just that much more space to work with on their attack.
Yeah, and you know, it's good to see that Winthrop, they're at least adapting all the way this far throughout the game. It really 1+2 hasn't equaled tree. The entire time they've tried to go through tree, they've been absolutely stopped, and it has not worked whatsoever. So I'm glad to see that you're at least able to make the key adjustments. But now Winthrop, they got to relock in, refacilitate, worry about getting this one to 7-5.
Governor is going to take quite a bit of damage towards that A-main angle. It's only down to 47 HP as the rest of his team is just going to be funneling towards this B angle. Renz is going to read it and at least be on the line as now down towards sewers. The Winthrop roster goes, and
I've got
not
your
too much
trail.
space being gained, but with the Seekers being popped, at least you get information. And if you swing into this right now, Governor at least able to take that timing to go up towards Rose.
Ren's going to get that fast lane set. Fair, meanwhile, is going to find one. Infiltrator, another. So good start to this round from Winthrop, and they just keep laying it on right now. Giza, the only man left standing in this 1v5. Winthrop, looks like this situation is looking a little bit better as we head to the end of this half here. You should be able to shut down Giza. to expend a lot of utility to make sure he doesn't think he has a chance of finding his way back in. Only 68 HP, going to get flashed and isolated with the smoke. I mean, this is just all a formality at this point. And Veyron will make sure it gets shut down. It was definitely a rough start for Winthrop, but they come back with some positivity at the end. This is probably best case scenario. Now, you take pistol at the start of your own defensive round. Very much a realistic scenario to find a tie.
One slight problem.
Oh, no.
Yes.
This is Maryville's map. So you got 5-7 on the side that you picked first. Meaning Maryville are definitely stronger on the attack than on the defense. And they've shown that multiple times. We've seen how against West Virginia, that side swap happened, and it was Roll City. This time now, 5 seconds left to go. This is going to be a huge 2 rounds for Winthrop to see if they can tie it up, as you said, Ev. If not, we could be looking at the beginning of the end very early, but that is a nice first pick off the headhunter from Veyron.
And that's exactly what you'd expect from a Chamber on this defensive side. That's what you need from them, because picking Chamber over every other Sentinel, you need that high killing power. You need him to get these picks in these situations, just take some players out of the game, and already Veyron's able to get 3. His Governor is able to get 1 for his troubles, as Ainge tries to salvage the round, but it's going to be Strong Tall Guy finishing us off, and we got a game on our hands. We definitely have a game on our hands.
Hey, what did I say? What did I say? You just need to win pistol. You don't think about how good Maryville's attack is. Just come in.
Oh, yeah.
Win the pistol. You know you're also a good team, too. There's a reason why this is a 1 and a 2 seed fighting it out right now. I think if anyone has a chance of making things interesting for Maryville, it is Winthrop, and they're already off to a good start on their own defensive side. You take pistol, you should be able to get the conversion here, and that's 3 in a row now for Winthrop. I mean, they're really starting to build some positive momentum. You assume this is going to be round number 4, but again, I need to see this consistency stay farther than these rounds we have gun diff. I mean, Governor obviously will take advantage of that tight angle with the judge and find Renz, but will the success continue after we get this assumed tie?
Well, you know, that's just unlucky for Renz right there. You think you're on this Neon, you're like, oh, happy, fun days. I get to strafe jump into dish, and I'm going to have a fun time. We got the stun. It's hit someone. Hey, you know what? Nothing bad can happen to me here. And then Governor's like, yeah,
watch this.
Yeah, that just get one tab, Libra. All right, next time maybe. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, all Neon mains, sometimes we deserve to get shut down like that once in a blue moon. But Fair and company right now, they're trying to withstand the storm, and you found 2 right here. Spike planted, and Maryville, now they have to try to work the retake, but the TP out from Veyron is too quick. The refrag cannot come through, and instead Governor can pick up the freebie on the last remainder of Maryville.
No pick's going to be gained for Maryville, but if I had to say it, I would say there are more positives than negatives in that round. Spike is going to get planted, and if I'm not incorrect, 3 orbs retrieved. As you see, Ange is going to be 1 away from the orbital strike on this 3rd round of the 2nd half. So, all in all, I would say that is a pretty decent round, but rightfully so, Maryville is going to take this time out to reassess and get Renz back in the driver's seat, because 2 rounds in a row he's been shut down off rip, just unable to play the game.
And again, this was a big point of contention for Winthrop as well. You talk about how you lose the firing power of Infiltrator. I mean, he started to pick it up a little bit near the second half of this round, but it's really been Veyron and Fair who have been doing the majority of the heavy lifting for Winthrop in this game thus far. And I think, yes, you want to lean on that, but you need to get your duelists to start contributing a little bit more just to open up more space on the map to get this done. Now, obviously, this is a critical time now. Maryville is going to have their first full buy of their attacker happen. Like you were saying, Patrick, this is their favored side on this map. So has Winthrop done enough to shut Maryville down, and can they keep this positivity going?
You know, the number one thing for me is just it comes down to the Sentinel matchup as well, right? Like, Veyron having all of this stopping power that a Chamber can when you're talking about a team that really likes to get aggressive like Maryville, it's really good. And that's definitely the story of the matchup, because if you give Maryville the site, you got all that Cypher utility that just makes it so much harder than to retake, right? And that's kind of one of these situations that we already know how hard it is to retake Fracture when you're up against Maryville. When you have the Cypher utility on table as well, it's just even more.
Definitely very difficult to get through, and what isn't going to be difficult is Ren's hitting that shot onto Veron, kind of shutting him up from those previous 2 rounds. As 4-man flank from Winthrop is going to get started. The spike is going to go down safely, but Shondex needs to get one in this situation. Infiltrator off the back of that slide, 1 tap with the judge, and now 4v4 is this round. Very flipped, honestly. You'd think it was Winthrop attacking, but they're going to need to find their way back into this site.
Maryville trying to rotate this post-plant defense as Winthrop trying to find their way and going to go up the zip, but Wildfire is there to find 2 and slam the door in the face of Winthrop. Fair left holding the pieces of a failed retake. Is good to find Ren, so something for his troubles, but no way he's able to win this 1v3 and defuse. So Maryville, timeout used to great effectiveness, but you do lose quite a few numbers at the end, so Winthrop's still going to be able to get a little bit of something for their troubles on the way out.
Well, you know, at the same time, Wildfire, you want to go ahead and make an opportunity to make a play happen. You sit in tower, and just like that, 3-piece combo.
1 by 1.
Oh, yeah.
1 by 1, 1 by 1. It's like fish in a barrel going up that rope. As Wildfire, he is all but happy to start farming those orbs, get those 3 kills. Even going to be able to buy one of his teammates in this round is Maryville. Yes, losing a lot of rifles, but still being not too hurt. It's going to be Giza left on light shields, but all in all, everything is fine.
Let's see what Maryville has in store for this next round. He got the lead back in Infiltrator. Does get a little
zips.
Does get a look at zips, so that's going to cause this Winthrop defense to start rotating over towards A. Maryville, they're going to have to hurry. They want to make sure they get there beforehand. Brimsmoke's out, Cypher Cage as well, so things in position to give themselves cover. Spike will go down, but Winthrop, they really solid chance of potentially retaste. To be fair, going to be up there first, missing a couple shots to the smoke, but as Winthrop get themselves set, Maryville trying to make sure they can hold on. Keep this positivity going. Ooh, some more missed shots coming through, and Infiltrator going to be able to find one, but Wildfire answering with one of his own as Maryville continuing to fight as Wildfire. 1 HP be damned. He is good to find and frag, and so are the rest of Maryville. They continue to let the good times roll.
Yo, Wildfire is walking through that brim smoke, and Fair is hitting the spray.
Full confidence.
He's hitting the spray. We're saying he missed a couple bullets. Yes, that may be true. And if he hit one more, Wildfire would have been dead. 1 health, and off of that, what do you get? 2 picks on 1 health from that value. 1 off the aftershock, another one through the player just simply walking right by you. I mean, you want to talk about creating value? Don't call me Sean Burney, but that is Wildfire for you right there on 1 HP. What a turnaround from someone who was really just dead to rights.
What a turnaround indeed, and what did just get turned around is that Sky Flash and Sands unable to get through the doors as is, but Maryville are going to be able to at least capitalize off that information. Break of the chamber trip will draw some rotates over, but it's only going to be Shondex and Renz staying here at the B site, trying to be here with the party, and already Winthrop, sorry, is that 4 players?
That's 4.
B-sided. Yes, Strong Tall Guy does rotate back over, but with only a Bucky, there's not too much value to be gained unless you're able to cross on over into sight right now.
Maryville slowly working out this attack. Coming towards his A side, and that's what we were talking about. Maryville had the ability to adjust his pace however they want. Seeker's going out for Governor.
Everybody knows now.
And like you said, this is so telegraphed now. Gonna have to be ready. Ult starting to go out as well. Here comes this execute. Ren's full flash. He's gonna have to wait it out. Wildfire, he's continuing to stay hot. And Ren's right out of that flash. Good for another one. So Maryville already 2 picks on their side. Should be able to start this execute, but hold on now. Fair, the stalwart defender, is gonna try and make things a little bit more interesting and bring Winthrop back to the brink.
I mean, guys, they were just all of them just sitting in this hallway, and yet we're giving up bodies like this. Fair's going to have to try to now right the ship. The Brimstone ult goes down as Ainge is going to be able to pick up one through the wall. The missed shot with the Bucky's not going to help out right there for USTG as Sean Deck's going to be able to put you down. Veyron, 1 shot left in the Headhunter. Has to hit the head if you want to get it to go. Hey, 2 bullets is not a whole lot either. Reload, and now everyone knows where you are. Timer becoming a factor too. And in a 1v3 situation, you have to think all players, they're just going to simply wait for contact, and it should just be a very telegraphed double swing. Nothing that Veyron should be able to do in this moment. But you get a little lucky, and it's something gifted to you at the very least. You find 1 pick, but again, that situation pretty much unwinnable.
That pick is a pick, but the 3-man cross is even better. Yes, Winthrop did a very, very good job at least stalling the plants and even able to get an orbital strike out, but no matter what, Maryville, they cleaned up so nicely, and this is why that Maryville side is so good at attack. Even in such an unfavorable situation, they look calm, collected, and cool, and come out that round with the win.
And it's just crazy how they could just explode off of just 1 pick. You know, just the confidence you get from even finding 1 really goes to show why this. Why you just don't take them here. And again, teams, whoever said the grand finals, you should be watching this and just take notes. Do not let this happen, because this is what's going to happen to you. This is just too good of a situation for Maryville. And now if you're Winthrop, again, already forced to save in a really tough spot and losing fair, one of your best players in this game right off rip, this is going to be such a hard round to try and fight your way back in. But if Aaron's able to find anything with this tour de force, maybe their fortunes could change for the better.
Man, I mean, that is so rage bait, though, for fair. You just got to feel for the guy. An Infiltrator with the stun now. Rens is going to find yet another. These neons for both sides are just going back and forth. The tour de force finally gets locked in as well. And in a 2v3, Sean Dex is going to chip the numbers down ever so slightly. Veyron goes down for the count. Infiltrator to follow. It's just Rens having a day right now on this map, and who would have thought? I was thinking about it too, right? You were talking about their ability to explode. Think about in round 16, they were stopped, flashed in a single hallway, Brim Molly on the floor, you got nowhere to go, and yet they still find space off of that. It's again in this scenario as well, you got a tour de force that gets popped out, and yet Rens is like, hey, you know what, I'm not scared, let's just go, let's make a play right here, right now. If you're St. Clair or West Virginia, right, you obviously know what Maryville is like on Fracture if you're West Virginia. St. Clair, I know you beat Winthrop on this one. I still don't like the idea of you getting confident and tempting fate thinking you could beat Maryville on Fracture. I'm sorry, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and Maryville, they have all the confidence in the world on this map, even when they were even at 7-7, and when we did think Winthrop was going to, you know, they were building some momentum, they had a real chance. That was only the pistol and the buy-in afterwards. Then every other round after that, it has just been the Maryville show. They've been putting on a clinic through attack like we know they have, and with Winthrop's final timeout, they need to find an answer. They need to find some way back in this defensive half, and if they're not able to find it this round, it is all but over.
Yeah, and I mean, this even the way the econ is right now, this is going to be a round that if you're Winthrop, if you lose 2 to 3 members, depending on how this Maryville attack goes, you're probably just going to be forced to concede because you don't have the money to fully buy in, especially if everyone falls. It's already going to be a really light buy on match point for Maryville, so Winthrop is going to have to be incredibly careful with how they approach this, and you lose 2 already. Yes, Infiltrator is able to find Giza, but
Sean Dex, man.
Immediately, Sean Dex is just making an impact. Once again, he has been the MVP for Maryville thus far, and it's just got bad to worse as Sean Dex on ace watch right now. Yes, Veyron is able to find one, and Sean Dex completes it.
Wow.
An ace to put Maryville on match point. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I mean, the neural theft is just absolutely unreal, and it just feeds you so much information. You talk about how Maryville are able to explode off 1 pick. Let's trade that out for the fact that we can just give you 10 different positional pings on the 5 players. I mean, that is just unreal stuff right there that you can immediately gather. Maryville, they know exactly where to be at the right time when they see those first set of pings go through, and it's just like a hot knife through butter when we're gliding through the Winthrop defense.
Like a hot knife through butter indeed, and Winthrop, they want to change up this defense, taking quite a bit of space towards A main and B main respectively. Might be trying to go for a little bit of a crunch, but If Shondex is able to get this kill in the smoke, and it's going to be Ange, starting us off. Infiltrator is going to be noted out on the flank, but with Spike going down in this situation, all you have to do if you're Winthrop is take as much space as possible. Wildfire getting a little bit confused as the overdrive is going to get popped for Infiltrator, but no value being found. Renz is going to find two, and this map is looking cooked. Strong Tall Guy with the ults, it can't do anything. It didn't even hit anyone. What do you do in this 1v3 of the double swing? It's too good. Renz ending us off with a 3K 13-7 Maryville.
And I that's just expected. I mean, like, we were giving Winthrop a lot of credit. You know, it's like, oh, you know, they had a nice start. You know, find some rounds at the, you know, the latter half of their defensive side or their attacker side, I should say. But it's just, it was only a matter of time.
It's that side
It's
swap,
that
man.
sleeping giant, man. Once you get Maryville on attack, they just get locked in. They go Super Saiyan 4, and they just completely shut down everything that Winthrop is trying to do. And again, we've said it a million times. Do not take Maryville to Fracture, because you are just going to get bodied every single time.
Actually, Super Saiyan 4 technically
bro.
isn't
All right.
canon,
Okay.
so that wouldn't
All
be
right,
correct to say. No, but Winthrop only getting 2 rounds on their defensive half, that being pistol, and the next round after, crazy. Crazy. And this goes right back to what I was saying about this map pool, but Patrick, just take it, man. I don't know what to say about that. It's
And you
every
think
time.
I do either?
Every time.
Because your reward for this is congratulations, we're headed to Bind. But we'll be doing that after we take a short break. Stay tuned, though. Winthrop, what do you got in store to try to take us to map 3?
Coach at George Mason University Esports Call of Duty team, and I am a computer engineering and computational data science student. When I first needed a car, I was 18, I was straight out of high school, driving a Chevy Suburban up 45 minutes in rush hour every day, and I kind of just got to a point where I kind of wanted something a little bit more enjoyable. And this was actually in the same building that I worked in. You know, I went to my dad and asked, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to get a new car. And he said, like, all right, let's go over to InTouch. There was a lot of uncertainty going into this process. I was expecting a lot of paperwork, a lot of numbers, really understand kind of how any of this worked. The person we were talking to was actually a car guy, so he was almost like really excited. He's like, yeah, you're getting your first car, you know, what are you getting? Having a car really helped me travel for esports events, and not only that, it just gives me the ability to be the team dad. I give my players rides, get to campus for NACE matches, and just supporting the team in a bigger way that I wouldn't be able to before. If any NACE students are looking for financial tools, resources, and support from people who care, I recommend checking out InTouch Credit Union. With graduation coming up, I honestly don't think I'd be where I'm at in my financial journey without them.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your NACE Grand Finals semi-finals. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Lella Eugene Masilela and Evan, not really Evan Johnson. Guys, we just sat through what we thought at one point was a close fracture game between Maryville and Winthrop. The side swap comes through. Winthrop, they take the pistol round, and I hope they enjoyed it, because then it just snowballed from there.
You get the pistol, you get the charity conversion round after, and it's just
One by one.
one by one. It just fell apart, and we got to take a look at some stats from that last game, because there were definitely a lot of stats, a lot of numbers to be taken a look at. Obviously, I think for Winthrop, it was Fair and Veyron who were doing their best to try and keep them in, but when you got guys like Wildfire who just had an insane game, 234 ACS, 16 kills, just holding it down with that breach. I mean, he was just going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I honestly do believe so many of these players were doing more than their job required, and at one point I thought Renz was going to be in a little bit of an infiltrator position when we saw paths after those 2 insta-kills from Veyron off barrier drop. I was like, okay, we're trying to shut down Renz, trying to change the pace of the game, but after that, the rest of these Maryville roster, they just stepped up and they stepped out. Also, I want to note, Renz opt more on attack than they did on defense for Maryville. I believe it was 3 rounds with that attack off, and it got virtually no value. I believe 1 kill, and then on the defense, rifle, and they ran with it.
Welcome to NACE Grand Finals, where it's just T-side ops simulator, and it works out. You never seen anything like this before, man. Anything can happen at LAN, and again, this is just getting proven time and time again. But now we're heading on to Bind. Let's talk about maybe some statistics around this one specifically, just to retouch on what both teams are looking like on VLR going into this one, what we think about the first game, how that's going to translate to game 2, and some agent selection predictions.
Well, we had a very visceral reaction to when we saw Bind come through as Winthrop's map pick. I mean, at least according to our research that we did, this is a map that, now obviously Maryville's map pool, very, very heavy, very, very big, but this was definitely one that had a much more success rate, or a much higher rate of success than some other ones. A 74% win rate on 43 matches. Then when you take a look at Winthrop, we put this in a weaker category for them. It's roughly the same amount of games, 42, but a 57% win rate. Now, that being said, obviously, this could be a back pocket map that we've been slowly working on before, and they obviously feel confident enough to pick it against Maryville, but now that your backs are against the wall, and you kind of get dono-walled a little bit on Fracture, what do you do on Bind if you start going down early? Like, that's when we get to, these conversations about, does Maryville just take it off of pure momentum? Does Winthrop have something left in the tank? Have we already seen the best of Winthrop in this tournament, and now they're just running on fumes? It's definitely not looking good for Winthrop, but obviously I'm very open to be surprised.
I definitely hope we haven't seen the best of Winthrop, and in particular, I hope we haven't seen the best of Infiltrator, because in that game, he wasn't really allowed to play in a sense. There were so many times Infiltrator is either put in a position where he spammed through a smoke and put to such low HP that he can't really do too much in terms of value, or he's just flashed up to high heaven and, again, can't see, you can't shoot. There was that one round he got the jumping spray kill while full blind, which was
that was pretty nice.
That was nice. It was cool. It was cool, but that's just one. That's just one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't believe Infiltrator got nearly enough value, or as much value as he could have gotten that game, and I really, really want to see him show up in this game of Bind.
I'm just kind of contemplating and thinking here, like, the one thing about Bind at the very least is that it's been here for so long. Like you've said, you can't fake a map like Bind. So both of these teams, they definitely know it inside and out. They just have to basically apply their understandings to the game inside of the server. And I think that, recently, obviously, We've seen a little more of a shakeup. Bind was a map that you see a lot of Yoru play on. Obviously, since the change was implemented, that isn't really a thing anymore that you're seeing a whole lot of.
Except for Rutgers University. Of course.
What band came through? We didn't see that. We didn't see those patch
You
notes
said
come
we don't
through.
play Yoru on Bind? Who decided that? Rutgers, they're different, man. I love them. But
We miss them already.
But yeah, nah. If I had to predict agents, I wouldn't be mad at just both teams playing standard. We got what? Raze, Viper, Brim, Sky, and either a second duelist or a chamber. That in my opinion is going to be what's going to be played, but if not, you're going to have to be very dynamic with the decisions you make and have to know your comp inside and out if you want to be able to, if you're Winthrop and you want to be able to take this map off of Maryville.
Yeah, I think like another thing that I'm really trying to grasp is just more or less, well, I mean, for Winthrop, it's, you know, we kind of saw this result coming thus far. I'm just really wondering what you kind of have in the back pocket for Bind, because looking at the win percentage, like you said, Maryville, they've looked very good on it. Now, to be fair, maybe, right, and this is something that, you know, in Div 1 I can't quite recall, maybe Winthrop have had success over Maryville more frequently or recently in Bind, and that might be why they're obviously picking into it. But that being said, you got to kind of think that this is a little bit scary because it's also a newer look team than Maryville, right? Maryville have obviously shared this roster for a long time. They've stayed consistent, but Winthrop, they've definitely had some more changes when it comes to some of the more key positional players, like Fair, for example. Knows that we can obviously hop on the Brim, so that's going to be all good. I really just want to see where the Viper comes into all of this, and basically it's going to come down to who plays that better, in my opinion.
Did I say Viper when I was talking about
I think, yeah, pretty sure you did.
I feel like a part of me wants to say I didn't say it, but yeah, no, Viper,
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
integral part, insanely integral part into Bind, and especially play of this level between these two types of teams. If we don't play Viper, I don't know. We saw it yesterday. When one team is playing Viper and another team isn't playing Viper, it is so difficult to try and play into and play against it. And I don't know. If you see a Viper on enemy team and you don't have one,
GG.
Indeed, GG.
And I think you're right about that. I think both teams know that. And like you said, at this level, you know the kind of comp that you need on a map like Bind. You know, I think the Viper, you said, so integral. Brim as well. Another key piece that if you don't have, you're going to have a bad time. You know, those smokes, especially when you're looking towards this A site, if you don't have that heaven smoke or that smoke over towards, you know, the connection to CT, you're cooked, man. And that's why we see both a Brim and a Viper, like you predicted.
Okay, Maryville. I like this. Waylay Neon. Okay, if I'm going to be honest, I do like both comps, and we already know how Infiltrator likes to get down with that operator, so Jet being a nice little comfort pick for him is good. Governor going to be main entry, at least with those satchels, going to be disrupting getting into sight, and for the first time, I believe this entire 2 days of NACE Grand Finals, I can confidently say both teams have enough support for their duelists. Finally, both teams have the means and the utility necessary to support their duelists the best that they can. So it's just going to come down to raw skill.
Man, I love the collegiate days when I can watch a team run double dive and we have flashes.
Oh.
That's so nice. Man, I wonder what top 4 team ran that one time and didn't bring flashes on a Lotus map, and it didn't really go too well. Okay, you know what? No, I can't dog on it too hard. St. Clair are doing pretty decent right now. What was we were actually thinking about what their game was at. I believe I checked in with you right before we got into this. It was at a 6-6 half.
Yes, 6-6 half on map 1. So St. Clair, West Virginia, very, very back and forth. And currently the game is 8-9. St. Clair on 8 and West Virginia on 9.
Okay.
So,
Still doable.
So back and forth, so close.
And I think that's what we expected. I mean, we've always said
such a hard fought series.
We've always said that St. Clair, West Virginia, they're right there. in terms of skill level. I mean, any given day, you know, one could be the 3, one could be the 4. It's such an even matchup that it's like it's going to be a dogfight either way. But I think if you're St. Clair, like, you definitely have a way forward, and I think you're hoping that maybe Winthrop can come back and win this series because, you know, you already know you can beat them. I think Maryville is a final boss. Definitely a very scary look. But, hey, I mean, any team that could beat Winthrop, I think on a good day, could probably beat Maryville as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something to talk about for sure. As, hey, you know what, Winthrop, they're coming into this as the 1 seed. They're down by a map right now. Remember, this for your tournament lives. Winthrop, are you going to be sent home by the end of Bind, or do you got one more at the very least that you're willing to show up to Orlando for? That's a little bit of a troll right there, but you got to move past it. You at least work your way through, and Infiltrator on top of Shiny is going to be able to provide some cross into Hookah as Ren's trying to dive on through. Look at the explode into Labs as well. This is just absolutely beautiful right here from Winthrop. Governor to be able to start with 1. This is ramping up so far as Infiltrator has another, the double pick, but no, Fair finds 2. Veyron finishes it off, and it all just explodes instantly off of the first key of pressure.
One by one, that instantaneous decision making from Winthrop to take it towards elbow and fight those CT players off the back of that flash and instantly double back, go towards site, and just aim duel your way to victory. Honestly, exactly what they needed and the confidence that they needed to bring out into this pistol round. And I already know Maryville were very confused by those smokes, as was I, because those smokes that Winthrop threw, the double orbs towards site, I wasn't really sure what the intention was, but
hey,
at the end of the day, whatever works, works. And what's working right now is a 3-man teleport towards A. Instantaneously, Winthrop is going to shift towards that B site and try and get that spike planted as soon as possible.
It seems like Winthrop almost taking a page out of Maryville's book, just being able to explode onto the site. Governor is going to hit that satchel this time. He's going to be able to get in, but Giza in this Garden position, but not good for one as SCG with the stinger going to be able to find that pick, and that is going to let the spike go down. Shondex, look at this. Maryville trying to execute onto the site. Eco be damned. They're going to try and fight this. If you can take out this player in 2s, this might be a little bit realistic. That pick does go through. 2v3 now.
One enemy remaining.
Make that a 1v3. Infiltrator and Veyron shutting it down. Winthrop get the conversion as well, but like we saw in Fracture, do we see Maryville just answer right back?
I'm more or less just laughing at the fact that Ainge just had no other choice but to, like, with a classic peek onto Infiltrator, sitting in all the way back through Garden with a Marshall. I mean, that's just so unlucky. Like, what are the odds that you come out on top in that gunfight? I wouldn't even be able to tell you. It's probably less than a percentage. But now, Maryville having the ability to buy into this one, seeing what they can bring to the table when they have some weaponry to their names as Infiltrator. I believe that Skydog just barely misses. So, hey, if anyone hits that TP to Showers, he's going to be waiting right behind you with the classic in hand. That All-Fire should be able to do you in no matter what.
Deep Brim Smoke towards the A short, now cutting off so much time and information from Winthrop. Maryville playing very, very patiently, and Fair is going to be able to find that pick towards Showers, and now it's really up to Ainge in this situation to at least find one. If he's able to randomly spam, is going to hear that ghost and just has to smoke short. Now, time ticking a little bit, and the flash judge behind you. Governor will find his way into Lamps, and it's Shondex, the solo player Showers. He's able to hold this space as best as possible, but still Infiltrator in that TP, just lying in wait.
And you know that Infiltrator is ready to strike at a moment's notice. Shondex, I mean, you're gonna have some support with Giza rotating back into the site, but look at this positioning from Winthrop. They should be able to try and hold this, depending on if Maryville's good for a couple picks. And right as I say that, 2 picks go the way of Maryville to even up these numbers, make this a bit more realistic. Now, Infiltrator also falling in Shower, so it's all up to Governor. and SDG to try and salvage this, but a little bit of a gun diff now. This
One
Ghost
enemy
not,
remaining.
is going to help out as somehow Winthrop, they weather the storm of a Maryville retake, and they're about to get this bonus potentially.
And that was looking
That's big. That was
damn
huge.
good for Maryville. It was looking like they had all the space covered, especially very damning once Infiltrator dies and showers too. It's one less avenue of pressure you got to worry about. Really good press from Governor as well, though, and he's going to be able to obviously upgrade to the rifle and aids his team to victory. Bonus for Winthrop. And hey, man, somehow, some way, Maryville, Winthrop, you could see it obviously going the distance. You got them at least taking the 4th, and you got to think the 5th is most likely in the bag as well, for sure.
Most likely in the bag, yes, but with no information really being given on either side, I stand corrected. Strong Tall Guy does send that flash towards B. Is going to get noted out. Governor even using the paint shells, just trying to clear that close left angle. Not cleared fully, and now you really have to wonder where Winthrop is going to go, what site they're really headed towards. Even the flash is going to tag one long.
Maryville so trying to allocate resources accordingly, but Winthrop, like you said, they've made the adjustment. Do have some idea, and that's going to be Sean Dex who finds this first pick. And look at Giza now, tucked into a really tight corner in this guard position. Wildfire also there for support as the blind goes through, but it doesn't matter as STG and the rest of Winthrop are able to take that space. Seeker's going out as well, and they're going to find that this B side is clear with these final members of Maryville going to have to rotate out through labs.
Now with what seems to be a very, very winnable round, and invest the orbital strike, but 2 players already divergent paths as well. 2 players in this smoke. Fair and STG. Oh, Fair, sorry. Just him himself doing everything in that round, getting that 3K. And if you're Maryville, you know that round is slightly annoying, and even investing the Brim ults into what would have been such a winnable round.
I mean, you got to try to hope that you can get at least the 4-1, but that being said, even if you win it, yeah, you could be looking at 5-1 for Winthrop, because a loss here isn't going to mean nothing. You're still going to be able to buy into the next round regardless of what the situation looks like. So Winthrop, they have established themselves at minimum to be a threat to take 6 most likely on this first half early on. Maryville this timeout has to come through a round that they must win, and you got to almost think that they need the second one on this docket as well. You cannot afford to lose. You at least got to get yourself some backpack on the eco side of things and give yourself a sturdy foundation here.
Yeah, most definitely, and especially if Shondex is going to invest the operator and light shields into this round. A little bit of a glass cannon, if we're being honest. This read has to be so perfect for Shondex to get the value of this investment. And yeah, you're talking about it. The money is so bad for Maryville right now. If they do lose this round, that's more than likely just 6 right there for Winthrop. And hey, they're shutting us up really quickly, and we can already tell why they picked this map.
And if they can get 6, who's to say they can't get to 7 as well? And then move forward from that to really make this a strong attacking half and just bury Maryville before they can really get things going right now. But like you said, this investment really needs to pay off for this Maryville defense. Once again, it's going to be Winthrop shading towards this B side. Pressure into Garden already. This Brimsmoke going to delay it for as much as possible. We have Renz and Shondex on site to try and stop this. If Winthrop were to go through the smoke, it looks like STG going to fall back. So you leave Infiltrator left, maybe trying to put some phantom pressure on, maybe try and find at least one pick to open things up a little bit, as the rest of Winthrop now trying to shade over towards mid and maybe try and see if they can try their luck over on the A side.
Yeah, and this rotate, it's got to come through quickly. Infiltrator through showers right here as the wall's going to go up, as now Maryville, they found an avenue in, but so have Winthrop. They at least have the start of what could be making for some U-Haul control. The bait on the plant from the truck is going to have the stun come through. Really close-up angle to be playing with this op. You got to watch out.
30
STG,
seconds left.
strong, tall guy waiting in the wings to see if you can find anything off the back of this U-Haul pick. The healing coming through from Giza, but again, you're just continuing to tap this plant and you're draining more util as this keeps happening. Governor and Infiltrator with a pick of their own. The showstopper comes through. The plant to be held. The satchel over the truck. You gotta think it's coming. But Wildfire is the only one remaining, and for Winthrop, you've done pretty much everything to make this one impossible.
And that has to force Wildfire to save. I mean, like you said, the money is just so
bad
bad right now that you sort of have to concede right now. And like we said, this avalanche on attack for Winthrop has just completely overwhelmed Maryville. They have just not looked like the team we saw on Fracture. And we knew this was going to be a dogfight, and I think we might have been a little surprised as to how Winthrop came out and attacked, and approached map number 1. But it seems like they figured some things out in the interim.
Yeah, definitely figured some things out and then some. And honestly, well played on Governor and the entire Winthrop roster for just tapping that spike so consistently, noting out all the Maryville players and picking their fights, taking them, and hey, just winning. One by one, those Maryville players fall. I believe they get 1 or 2 picks, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Wildfire left on an island just has to save, and passing that rifle on over to Shondex. You have to hope he goes so incredibly massive, or just some sort of set play is going to come into this round, because Maryville, they need to force one.
Am I reading that right? Is that 0 picks for Renz, Patrick?
Yeah. You definitely are. And it makes sense, obviously, the Neon not going to have the biggest effect sometimes on defense, but that being said, you should be looking to kind of take these first engagements, and you're not really finding a whole lot of them working out in your favor. That is a very damning pick, though, early on, and that's your Viper gone. Infiltrator to go by the wayside as well. Seekers going out throughout Hookah. Governor trying to act on the space, but Shondex is in the right place at the right time. Your Sky down and out. Now, all on Governor. Try to see if you can hold this Hookah position, but 2, 1 taps, maybe the third, but the saturation just able to choke up the vision barely enough for Shondex to find a gap through. It was a lot of visual clutter, and Fair can now try to work with this Brim ult in a 1v2 positioned on the B-long side.
Now, Shondex is going to hear Fair dropping towards that Hookah side. And yeah, now aware of his positioning, all they have to do is run them down. And with the utility out, that round is going to get nicely cleaned up by Winthrop.
Right
Time nearly not on their side, but they are going to be able to get it. Passing the spike on over to Shondex. That takes a different level of trust, but still, they're able to clutch it out in the end. And even with Governor hitting some crazy shots, thankfully, Shondex cleans, and yeah, good round. Very, very good round from Maryville, and it's one that they definitely needed.
Yeah, I mean, you stop the bleeding for one, but just get some confidence on your side again. I mean, like we said, it's just been this overwhelming assault from Winthrop, and it just, to shut things down and get things going for Maryville has to feel good, and obviously your investment into the hero rifle for Shondex paying off as he picks up a 4K. And now you can start to build this eco up a little bit. Money maybe still not in a position where you're fully comfortable. You definitely still need to get this round on your side, but don't worry about that when we get there, as Winthrop still in a very comfortable position. Governor still investing in this attack op as well. Still a lot of things they can do if they want to.
Oh, Renz, don't peek this man. Don't walk into the op site, but he's going to find the jiggle one tap onto Veron. I think Governor fell asleep there for a second. Unable to get the trade, and now with the pick gained and some utility out, Maryville want to try and take this back.
Oh man, I was going to say, for Fair, those shots got to land, and eventually Renz will find the trade out. Finally, the walking ult orb is going to be able to pick up 2 kills and do some stuff for value on the sheet for himself, but that's all good as Shondex, Renz walked so Shondex could run. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of what's been happening so far this game. The plant goes down, and now Maryville can start thinking about how they want to recruit back into this. STG, the blind going down the CT side. One in Hookah, missing the shot. Son, you got to hit, though. Shondex is going to be able to keep repositioning. And unfortunately, the A and D key are very much helping out in this facet on the Hookah engagement. It's going to be the defuse for Giza. And now 5 2. Maryville, they're clawing their way slowly but surely back into this one.
This is something, remember, yesterday, Maryville against West Virginia. Maryville down 6-0 at one point, and then they mount an insane comeback to force that third map. So Maryville's not a stranger to playing in these situations where they have to make big comebacks and play when they're down. However, obviously, there's a little bit of an argument to be made that different teams, but, I mean, strong tall guy, you got to hit those shots, man. Like that, you just need that to come through, and unfortunately it doesn't. Maryville starting to get some positive momentum on their side. Actually, I should say, speaking of West Virginia, in case the people wanted to know, seems like West Virginia did take the first map of their series against St. Clair.
Oh, VALORANT. Getting so adventurous, swinging out through your own wall like that. All Renz and Ange have to do is just stun you and peek you. Giza on the opposite side of the map is going to be able to find one as well. And now, in a 5v3, it seems Maryville are in an opportune space to win this round. As again, Giza and Renz, 2 separate sides of the map, 2 separate fights. They just win it out.
Yeah, and I mean, Evan, Renz didn't even give you time to explain what was going on here in the West Virginia game. But it's all good because at the end of the day, that's what I need to see out of him, right? You need to get more aggressive. You can't be afraid. And we know players of his caliber, afraid is the last thing they're going to get. They trust in their skill. They know what they're capable of, and they're showing it off right here. The jump peak is almost not enough, as Fair just barely missing the shot, but it's okay because Renz has the flank through Market side, and he's going to be able to swing back on the B-long areas. Good pick from Renz, a good 3K, and 3 for Maryville in a row.
Seems like Renz and Giza have finally woken up in this game. I mean, it's kind of the Sean Deck show for a little bit, but nice to see some support coming through from Maryville, and that's going to force a timeout coming through from Winthrop. I mean, you've had opportunities, but maybe some questionable plays. I mean, Infiltrator, you are able to find one, but really well played by Maryville to bait out the attack op and then just try and get the refrag. That's exactly what they do. They shut it down, and now, Winthrop in an awkward position now. You've lost 3 rounds in a row. You're still heavily investing, so the money's starting to get a little bit lower on this Winthrop side. While on the other end for Maryville, they're starting to build it up as we get closer to the end of this first half.
Closer and closer to the end of this first half we are, and now for the first time in quite a long time, Maryville are going to at least have more than enough money to buy into this round. Not even trying to invest in the op. You saw them in that last round. They didn't really want to pick it up, just play into their own strengths, try and maybe, potentially, once again, bring this to a 7-5. But if you're them, there's just straight looking at that 5-5. Infiltrator does have the Blade Storms, elects to save, and might buy, looks like he's buying Strong Tall Guy in this round. Is Winthrop might go for a little bit of a fast hit towards this B side.
Together.
Yeah, and now, soon, you got to see what Infiltrator can create. Seems like he's going to want to go down the B-long side here. Skydog to try to clear this one out. You've got a little bit of a split. The site's seen on a couple, but you got to dash back. It's huge picks for Renz. A nice little flick onto the second. Clears out B-long all by his lonesome, Ev.
And that's a crazy big pick for Maryville. That's spiked down cold as well on B-long, so you can reallocate your resources if you're Maryville and set this defense up now. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing Giza and Renz continue to shade over and put pressure over into Garden. Winthrop is able to recover the spike, but does that really last for too much longer? You've already lost another one with Governor. You lose a duelist to give yourself an entry, and now with Fair and Veyron left, they're going to have to make some big shots to make sure the spike goes down.
Big shots they do need to make, but Fair off the back of that wall bang, it's going to at least open up this B site a little bit, just trying to drop down together if humanly possible. Now, if the spike is going to be able to get planted, Veyron does have the pit, and might be able to at least salvage and scrounge something out of this round. Fair getting very adventurous towards CT. This timing.
30 seconds left.
So tragic. Ann's just barely missing it, and 30 seconds left. Fair has the spike. He still has to go all the way back towards site, and the smokes, they're going to start falling. And Giza and Renz towards long. They might just be able to stare at them. 12 seconds left. Getting off the spikes, it seems. Now we do know that my Viper will have pit in this round, but it seems too little too late. And it's not too late for Fair. He gets that kill. Util out, it doesn't matter. His teammate's right there to support him. Has Winthrop salvaged what seemed to be an unwinnable round into a win?
I mean, you got to be kidding me right there.
How?
That is insane. Good stuff from Winthrop, and it really does put Maryville on ice because now you know that at minimum you're looking at probably what's going to result in the 6-6 for the side that you wanted first. You definitely would have wanted to see at least maybe the 7-5 to give yourself a fighting chance, but then you're going to get Winthrop on the attack, which is where they'd rather be, or sorry, on the defense, which is where they would rather be. So now, for Bind, you got to think these next couple of rounds crucial for Maryville. The showstopper, it's at least going to hit for Winthrop, and that's not good. Renz, we know that he's been playing this aggressive showers position, and that's why it makes it at least a little bit telegraphed. But what's not telegraphed, Governor just immediately popping out and hitting the one-tap in a gunfight at 32 health that I just did not see him winning. Eventually, he's got to go down. The Seekers from Giza to come out through showers, and now the retake, it's got to happen. Infiltrator with one. STG finds the refrag onto Giza, but now Shondex, what can you create in a 1v2 clutch scenario?
Shondex, I mean, he made some big plays already for Maryville. He's going to try and get some space over towards Lamps. Does have SGG. Maybe giving a bit of an audio cue with his flash, but I don't think Shondex is going to have enough time to defuse the spike as well. He's going to have to try and stick it. But fair, you know, he does have the orbital strike in the back pocket if he wants to invest, but doesn't even have to. Just takes it out the old-fashioned way. And Winthrop, they, you know, you lose a little bit to Maryville, but clearly this timeout working out in their favor, and this aggressive hit coming through showers led by Governor, clearly leading to a victory paying dividends, and once again proving why maybe Winthrop is a little bit of a bind, you know, maybe a little bit of a surprise, you know, strong team on bind. Proving us wrong at least.
I think I need marketing to take a picture of Governor's keyboard. I could swear he just removed the shift and the S key because all he knows is W
Just go
in that
for it.
round.
Just
Go for it. Wildfire is going to drop that pit towards Long, and Shondex being in Winthrop's house virtually has to back up and get out of there instantaneously. Not too much damage being found, but with the information gained and the Seekers being popped, Maryville are going to be aware of this hit towards the A site, and so much util is flying around. Fair does drop the orbital strike as Renz's overdrive might be able to find some value of his own. Stuns up one, but the jiggled one tap from Strong Tall Guy is even better, and even through the smoke, Fair finds Giza.
It's just death from everywhere. And I mean, it's just, again, it's Fair just making a play here, 3K on the brim, and if you're Wildfire, what do you can't do a damn thing about it. This plant's going to go down, but it does not matter. Give Fair 4 on the round, and give Winthrop minimum 8 on this half, forcing Maryville to only dream of being able to see 4 if they want to continue on in this game.
This has been really impressive from Winthrop, all things considered, especially after how map 1 went. And you know, while this momentum has really been happening for Winthrop, unfortunately, we are going to have to pause for a second. Tech pause coming through, according to our admins on site. So we'll sit here and wait until that gets resolved. But, I mean, guys, this has just been a tale of 2 games right now. I mean, Maryville just really dominating on attack on Fracture, and now Winthrop taking a page out of their book and really sending it to them. And already, I mean, even if Maryville get this to 4, is this one a little bit too late with Winthrop going on their favorable side at the end of this half?
I definitely do believe that if Maryville are able to bring this to 4, there's a world in which that they can come back, but 9-3, it's looking
That's
rough.
Gonna be tough.
Yes, of course, the curse exists, the 9-3 curse of old, but you can't rely on that every time, and between teams like this, luck plays a very, very small factor in who wins and who loses. So it's very, very rough to say. And off of this really, really bad buy from Maryville, you're going to have to hope Shondex's Divergent Paths hits all 5 and he's just able to ace if they want to come into this next half confidently.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely going to have to lean on that Waylay ult to come through. And when you look at everyone else from Winthrop, I mean, they just have this down to a T. Fair right now has just been making plays all day long. No one can really even stop the guy right now triple positive on the brim, has been completely stuffing Maryville on the retakes, has been there in the clutch scenarios, and has been providing loads of value when it comes to finding picks in the mid-round. For me, the number one thing is you had Renz, who was starting off slow, creeped his way back into this game, and for the past 2 rounds has been completely rendered useless once again. You need to find an explosive start off your 2 dives. Giza, what can you supply them to take some space here?
I mean, they're going to need something. I mean, like you said, this is a really bad buy for Maryville, especially when your backs are against the wall in the first half. But, I mean, you do have some ability to maybe find something. You know, maybe if you can find an early pick and try and steal a rifle early, you might be able to get something going your way. But I just, the way the Winthrop's been playing, it's just so calculated and, you know, so coordinated with how they plan these attacks. And even rounds where it looks like Maryville's able to try and find a way back in, Winthrop somehow find a way through and just weather the storm.
Yeah, most definitely. And especially after you call Renz a walking Altorb, it seems he had a couple of things to say about that in that department, you know, just proving that he is able to get those frags for himself. But the rest of Maryville, you need to see them really rallying together and using this comp effectively, because that's the beauty of double duelists. You have to get in there, otherwise you're rendered virtually useless. And getting in there especially is what Winthrop have been doing. Governor not only being so unafraid to just run in and throw away his life, being able to get those picks on top of that, he's just only adding to his value.
Well, this is not a good sign as we're switching back to venue.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not sure what the someone just said ping issues. It's ping issues, so guys, let's stop downloading like GTA 5 and all these big updates on LAN. We can't be doing that right now.
Yeah, apparently they're receiving these same issues for other matches as well, so that must mean that St. Clair, West Virginia is probably on a little bit of a pause too. So, I mean, that's unfortunate, but, you know, I don't want to start talking about map numero tres, but I think that we are in this sort of area where Winthrop, they should be able to come through on the other side and force that map 3. And to me, this is where things get a little bit sticky, because we're moving back into a map that we have all said before is looking a little more like Maryville territory on Lotus. We know that these guys have some players as well, you know, notably Giza, who was on a St. Clair team that was extremely dominant on that map, knows what it takes to win at that level, and could definitely come through and give that experience to help Maryville. So, yeah, it's just tough. Lolo, what are you showing me, man? What's going on?
I mean, even after you said Lotus being a Maryville, it looks like a Maryville type of map. We said the same thing about Bind, but
it's true.
Winthrop, they've definitely been proving us wrong in this matchup. Of course, in my IMO, Bind is attack-sided, IMO, and it's very, very hard for the defense to play dynamically. If I were to say anything about how Maryville have been playing, I would rather Shondex getting a little bit more adventurous, being a bit more fearless with that Waylay and just getting into positions where Winthrop really don't want him to be in with that recall. But in all, if this half is able to end out 8-4, I still see a world where Maryville can take this 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not counting them out just yet, just because, like we were saying earlier, this is a team that has played from behind before, even in this tournament. So it's not over until it's over. I think that's the attitude you have to have if you're a Winthrop. You just need to make sure you can get this done now. Like you said, 9-3 at the half would be such a boost for you to get yourself on, you know, maybe a weaker side. But again, if Winthrop is picking attack first, you know, maybe they have some success on the defense. I mean, we'll have to wait and see once we get this sorted on the LAN end. But it's always fun to speculate. But I think I do agree with the general consensus. I think a third map definitely is what the doctor ordered for this series. But again, I think we all expected this to happen. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who has some ball knowledge.
Man, I wish I was in Orlando right now. I
Yeah.
these watching these matchups live would be well we are watching them live, but like watching them just being able to
In
get
person?
with the players would be so cool because like we're seeing 2 dogfights right now. I mean,
Yeah.
a very close game 1 so far from St. Clair, West Virginia. This series has just been back and forth like we thought it was, well, potentially going to be. Then we saw the map bans, and we were like, man, I don't even know what's going on here. What's going on in Orlando, man? Sort this out.
Something in the water in Orlando.
Hey, you know what? It's definitely worked out to somehow be the same thing that we've seen before, where it's just kind of looked like it's going to go the distance. But it just, I'm just jealous, dude. Like, it's just always so nice in Orlando, and here, like, the weather is crazy. Like, and I'm not
so
getting into this
polarizing.
I'm not getting like into a boring weather conversation. But if you're here from Canada and from like the GTA or just Windsor area in specific, you know how like volatile this can get.
Spring,
I need some consistency. I need summer to arrive, man.
Spring is my least favorite of the 4.
Listen,
Especially
no.
being here, because like you said, things can change just on a dime. I mean, yesterday, I came here early. It was like 8:30. I came here. I was wearing a jacket. I left. Didn't even need it. Back in later in the day. So it's you always have to plan. It's almost like it's a plan, like 2 different outfits to really get yourself going here. But I mean, we're almost getting to May here, so I think things will get a little bit more stable as we, sort of slowly creep forward towards summer. It's just these March, April months when you're sort of just getting out of the last little bit of winter and it's this transition period. It's the worst.
Just be glad you're not in the prairies. My parents
True.
called me yesterday and said
True.
they had snow.
Oh, yeah,
It is
that's
snow.
bad.
It is
That's
snowing
bad.
today,
That's
right
damn.
now. That's terrible. That is terrible. But it seems like our issues are slowly but surely getting
Maybe.
sorted out as we're thankfully back in the game and we're seeing a little bit of movement. So hopefully very soon we'll be getting into the final round of this half. Is Wildfire only going to be able to get light shields? That's not good. That's not good.
I mean, at least you can get regens, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But
and Giza can heal you up as well. So hey, there's that, but yeah, I mean, it's still looking like a rough outcome when you need 2 players to Guardian light it, and Ainge is going to be working through with the judge. Hey, maybe it's going to be able to, if you can play in a rat position, get you a little bit of a free upgrade, and maybe you can hit a transfer onto the second. But being that you're 4-10 right now, you definitely haven't been able to do stuff like that all game so far. Winthrop has been doing a good job of shutting you down in the kill department, and really both controllers, none of them on the Winthrop side, or sorry, on the Maryville side, have really gotten any opportunities to get firing on cylinders where they can perform clutch plays. Because, frankly, in the situations that they find themselves in, it's always too little too late.
yeah, and I think it's especially surprising for Wildfire, who had such a strong first map, to really just come out and,
Such a polar opposite.
yeah, like literally a tale of 2 maps. I know we've said this before, and even Veyron as well is having both Vipers, really having a weak go at it this time.
No
but
timings.
just haven't been able to get it done. It's been Sean Dex who's really been the saving grace for Maryville, and Fair who's been getting it done. But yeah, it's definitely surprising to see these big players put up a little bit of a donut in this map too.
Ren's just jumping around while we're in the pause. He's looking like me, if I'm gonna be honest. That's what you do on Neon. You have to jump
just
around,
movement stim.
keep the brain engaged, and then you can aim.
He's
Neon,
just trying to make the server work as hard as possible so the thing goes in his advantage. He's like, yeah, just keep straight jumping, and I can just keep raising the Winthrop ping. Let's go.
slowly but surely.
He's teleporting on my screen. That's what I want.
Nah, Neon is, I was about to say serotonin incarnate in Valorant. What's the word? What's the word when your brain makes things happy for you? Oh no, I forgot. Oh no.
Dopamine?
Dopamine! Thank you.
What are we talking about right now?
Stop. Please stop. Like, this isn't my first language, bro. All right?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
But yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Dopamine incarnate is the agent of Neon, and it seems Renz is trying to stay locked in at least to some degree. But shout out to Landon in free cam going on a little bit of a flight path throughout all of Bind, you know, kind of taking us on a tour.
Nice
I
tour,
can
like
show
that.
you
the world. Oh, we're not about to start singing on
No.
Yeah, we don't want to get DMCA'd, bro.
Is it because we sound that good?
Yes.
Okay,
We sound so similar that
we sound exactly like a laugh. Yeah.
Look at this. This is a nice shot here.
Oh, what's up, SCG? Was that SCG? No, that's Governor. What's up,
that's
Governor?
Go through the cave.
Go through the cave. Go through the cave. Yes. Big ups, Landon.
Man, who is downloading like an entire like library's worth of games on LAN right now to cause these ping issues?
Someone just we're data mining on the LAN PCs.
Yeah, somebody set a Bitcoin operation up at Full Sail.
Gotta be Giza.
Gotta be
Giza.
There's no way. You think Giza's like that?
That Maryville.
He looks too nonchalant. Yeah, Giza definitely looks too nonchalant to not be data mining on the Full Sail PCs. You don't know what that man's up to.
Dude, that's literally...
It's always up to something.
Guys, I don't think you realize.
It's the quiet ones.
Giza data mining is the whole reason you have the Maryville road trip song graphic.
Okay,
this guy literally went into all their PCs and just data mined them and was like, yeah, you know what? What's their most listened to stuff? And then I'm going to also take, like, a time period of when we were on the road. And then that's what he's got right there. But that took up like everything, and now my PC's fried and it won't work.
You know what? Since this Tech Plus, I feel like I've been sitting here for hours in silence, contemplating.
Oh yeah, Don.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Might go home and listen to that album later.
Don't do that.
No, I won't.
Don't do that.
That was a funny joke.
You know what we need to listen to, all three of us, after this match is over? The Kid Leroy. That's what we got.
Man, I hope this Tech Plus gets resolved soon.
My bad.
Trio desk, never again.
Never.
Wait. Hey, am I getting kicked out? Am I getting banned? What are we saying?
Maybe.
No, bro.
Maybe. What that mean? What do you mean?
Bro, you know
Am
what?
I not spitting? You don't want to listen to the Kid Leroy and the Big 2-6?
It's not COVID anymore, little bro. Like
This guy's rage baiting, bro.
I'm not rage baiting.
You know what? I'm just thinking of that. Like it's so weird to think about. Like when you think of like how things have changed from like COVID era like music and TikTok to like where it is now. It's like almost like a completely different universe.
Genuinely.
Like genuinely,
genuinely
it feels so weird to go back and listen to those things. Like,
No!
all those trends.
Our
man.
free cam observer ran out of jet fuel. No longer can fly. Oh no!
Landon
Now
had to-
back to venue cam.
Had to go for a little bit of a landing.
Man.
All good. All good.
It's like somebody from St. Clair's got YouTube pulled up now. Looks
That's
like.
Woody.
Is that Woody?
That's
What do we
Woody. On
think
the
he's
left
got
side?
on there?
What we watching?
That looks
Yo,
like
let me
we
take off.
watching-
Let me
wait,
take
wait.
off the headset. I got
Yeah,
you.
what are
Hold
we
on,
watching?
Wait, that looks like Mix. The second row, far left PC screen that we can see, that actually looks like Mix.
I can't really see it
If
from
my
here.
eyes are not deceiving me, I think Woody's watching the Mix trailer. You know what? Woody's trying to learn how to play Mix for Map 2. Yeah, I'm right. Dude,
Wow.
my eyes are different.
That's crazy.
My eyes are different.
You're so Valorant pilled that even like
Stop.
this far
Okay,
away,
okay.
you can.
Listen. I don't even play the game.
Okay, no, hold on. We got another. Wait. Hold on. Wait. We got another YouTube tab opened up here. Oh no, that might just be music because we minimize right after. I
The player next to
don't know who the
Woody,
back of the.
that
Oh,
would
that's
be
Seth.
Tillo. That would be Tillo
That's
to
Seth in the white
right of
jersey. So
Woody.
was that JP on the.
JP's far left. We can't see JP. He's to the left of Woody. To the right of Woody, that's going to be Tillo. Next is Seth. And after that is
that
Instinct.
Instinct?
And then far right is Jazzy.
Man, look. All I'm saying is, yo, don't let West Virginia know your next move. Pick Mix and comp Valorant.
Don't do that.
Best alt in the game, yeah, for sure. And the stun, nah, you can't sidestep that. What do you mean, bro? What do you
It
mean?
definitely doesn't have a 10-second wind up for the ult.
Boom, boom, boom.
That
See, the people at home can't see it, but you just did a really nice recreation of what that would look like. And
right here, right, dude. I think if I'm gonna be honest, I think I could like either name every Valorant ults in the game just like off memory, or name the voice line that they say for that ult.
I believe it.
That's not good. I think I've played way too many hours of Valorant if I'm able to confidently say that.
What are your hours looking like?
My hours in Valorant.
You're what? Are you A2 or A3 right now?
A1 right now.
Okay.
I think I put in like 10 hours of Zags. It's not good. If I'm gonna be honest,
Looking like some prime Mist RL numbers right there.
If I'm gonna be honest, I started Valorant in like 2021. Over the 5 years-ish that I played Valorant across 2 accounts, I believe I played, I would comfortably say 3.5 to 4K hours.
Wow.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
That's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think I have like nearly double that in Rocket League just from like the old days, but my old account got banned, which I'm very sad about.
Rest in
It's
peace.
fine.
Would you consider giving up the Valorant grind to switch over to Rocket League? Could Patrick convince you to switch over to Rocket League?
Never!
full-time?
No!
He's been close a couple times. I mean, I've never convinced him to just outright stop, but like, you know, he's had fun here and there.
I think Patrick is trying to though.
No. I will be completely honest. I don't even want that for him because we can play, right? And he'll do good, and everything will be okay. And then Swag Studios _13 joins the game.
Why you gotta use the full Govy tag, bro?
It goes horribly wrong. What's on my screen? This guy is purposely trying to troll matches, and yeah, Wyatt and Lello, they cannot be teammates in Rocket League. It just never goes well.
No,
Fair
I genuinely, I don't know what happens when Wyatt touches the pitch. It's just rage bait. Every single time Wyatt and I are on the same pitch, it's just rage bait.
For those who don't know, someone who else is involved in broadcast at St. Clair for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. But no, I don't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can play with Jamie. I can play with you. I can't play with Wyatt. I don't know why. We tried to settle our differences. We played twos one time. I was like,
Sometimes you
okay.
just don't have chemistry with someone in a game.
I don't even think it's
just
a
like
chemistry
athletes.
thing.
It's just like athletes.
I don't even think it's a chemistry thing. That guy just hates me. That guy just hates
Okay,
me.
well,
No, he doesn't. Hate
I
me.
don't know what to tell you.
He doesn't
I
hate
don't know
me,
what to tell
but yeah, no, we can't play. We can't play together. It's very sad.
We can't play here either. Apparently.
That is true.
I mean, we're getting on to almost minute 20, I want to say. Maybe I'm stretching it, but it's definitely definitely been
Well, I hope
around that long.
I hope the people are enjoying what has now turned into a
Good
podcast segment. So maybe it's a good thing that we had the 3-man desk.
True. If we only had 2, this would be
That would be a lot
significantly
tougher.
harder.
That'd
yeah,
be a lot tougher. I mean, me and Patrick can yap about a lot of stuff.
I think we can all yap about a lot of
That's
stuff.
true.
I can tell you right now a good update. So it was just spoken to me, so you two don't know yet. But they're right now experiencing like packet loss spikes that are happening. But they have IT there. They're just confirming that everyone's good to go. I believe I was told in about 30 seconds we should actually be able to get right
excellent.
back
Perfect.
into the swing of things. Our free cam observer,
Going crazy.
Fueled
he's
up again.
refueled up. Yeah, we're going through labs, and well, we're almost ready to get going.
Now I have a question.
There it is. Time
Hey,
to ticket.
we're going.
Now I have
Let's
a
go.
question as we sort of get to the end of this tech pause here, and very quickly I'll give this to you, Lello. As a player, have you ever experienced the long tech pause like this, and does that really change how the rest of the game is played, either mentality or just like the skill level of individual players?
I think especially since you're not allowed to talk about the game while in a tech pause, that will change quite a little bit. But it seems Winthrop wants to start this off very, very confidently. Renz is forced to give up his positioning towards that left side of long as Infiltrator just W keys through. Wildfire is going to be able to find one off of the B short lurk and just getting out of there, getting out with your life and up numbers. Now it's going to be Maryville firing right back, right off of the tech pause.
Seems like Maryville, they were able to stay warm off of this tech pause. And that's what you're hoping for as you're trying to get this to an A4 half. Sean Dex, now the sort of lone defender, does have some support coming in. The reinforcements have arrived. Veyron, target-rich environment, but maybe don't put your crosshair over on that side.
Out of charges.
Fair. Use Smokes there. Shonek's going to get burned by that Molly, and the rest of the team, hey, they're able to find the picks they need. Hey, looks like a little bit of an iffy round, but Maryville come out of the tech pause. They go flawless, and they find the best case scenario as they go into the next half.
That's a little bit bittersweet because now you switch sides, and it's going to be Maryville who now need to try to see what they can do when it comes to the attack as Renz. Now you've hoping that you can get a little more value out of him, but the pistol round, I comment on it, bittersweet because if you lose this, yeah, we can. I think it's without a shadow of a doubt 10-4, and you're up on eco. We can start maybe talking about what map 3 would look like. That being said, Maryville, they've come back from worse before, and you never want to really write them out, especially until you see that 13th round hit the docket. So Maryville on the attacking side definitely favors them more given the lineup of that double dive. We'll see what they can do, but first you got to clear out Hookah. It's a two-way split. The Skybird goes in. There's the first one gone. The Jet has to dash on back, but this should be an isolated pickup for Giza.
Renz and Giza, respectively, going to be able to find those picks. It's going to be strong, tall guy under Hookah, just trying to play his timing. He is going to be able to find 2 picks off of it, and with the assist from Veron, what was looking like a pretty confident Maryville round win turned into a 1v2 for Wildfire, and with only a Sheriff in hand and this high-low, it's looking too good. The shots are going to ring through. You're going to make some players move, but it's still so difficult, and an even higher high-low once again is going to come through. 1v1. The wide swing from STG is going to be able to clean up that round, and Winthrop, they're looking at their double digits.
I cannot believe that Winthrop were able to get away with that. I mean, strong, tall guy. I mean, he watches, I think, 4 players from Maryville come out of Hookah, and it just all crashes down. I mean, we'll see it again on the replay. I think Maryville, they did a really good job at clearing out this site, but strong, tall guy, I mean, all the intel and just the ability to give calls and find plays. I mean, what a round for Winthrop to just pull that one back from the brink, even though Wildfire made it a little bit interesting at the end. Winthrop now in a prime position to take this map and send us to a decider on points.
Oh, Governor, man. That's so unfortunate. Double judge, and Fair's just spamming through the smoke with the Sheriff. All right.
Hey, you know what? Winthrop laying stake to the claim that obviously with weaponry they have in hand and a little bit of RNG for Fair, but they're cruising to that 10th round. Maryville, the ability to buy up on this one, but this is quite literally for game here, I'd have to think. If you go down 11-4, there's a reason they don't talk about the 11-4 curse. It's because it usually, at that point, it like never happens.
Yeah, most definitely. And you saw the confidence from Governor, Fair, and Infiltrator towards A-Shore, and looks like they seemingly want to run it back. 3 men standing on over there, but Maryville, thankfully, have the correct decision-making to head on over towards this B site. Flash from Strong Tall Guy isn't going to be able to tag, but the 2 players down towards Hookah, they should be able to at least find some sort of value. He is going to come through, and Strong Tall Guy, he's just going to spam with the Phantom through a smoke and take out Shondex. Thankfully, Ange is going to play at least for some resistance as the fight through CT with Giza and Renz is going to find one.
Healing over here.
Going to have to heal up.
Yeah, Giza going to say he's going to be able to heal up and going to find another one as well as Ange is going to pick up that one onto Governor. Nayron still fighting the good fight. Want to find Wildfire, but not good to get the transfer over onto Ange. So all up to Infiltrator now, who, watch out now, is good to find Renz, but not enough to get Giza down as well. Fortunately, Winthrop not able to get that faded 11. Maryville still hanging around a little bit. Get some confidence on their side now.
And that's huge because this makes it actually doable. Now you can kind of have a little more of a foundation for yourself to build off of. There we go. Sorry. It's just been a little bit of a long start to the day as now, obviously, 10-5 Maryville only. Down by a few, you start roping together a few rounds, and all of a sudden you're right back into the mix of things. Is now Giza with that dog trying to see can scout out anything ahead, but the only thing that's going to happen is Ren's taking over on this side. Fair and Veyron. They answer back with 2, however, and wow, they really have actually just stuffed Maryville. This 3-man TP through to Hookah. Gonna have to be quick, but I mean, STG already there, can just Skybird out of tube after this kill if you want. Maybe the timing, you don't even have enough for it. You gotta just try to prioritize gunfights. You get away with 2 though. The plant going down from Ainge, but you're gonna be having cross pressure from CT and Hookah to deal with.
Veyron and Fair in this 2v1, they just have to clear out as many angles as humanly possible. Ainge does have the orbital strike in his back pocket, but not too many angles to play around with, and with the smoke coming down on the spike, it's looking so difficult. Forced to use the orbital strike incredibly early, as the spike still has so much time to tick down and so many smokes standing in his way. Spam isn't going quite right. He's able to kill the diffuser right before it comes through. It is half, but he wins it out! Ainge going massive in that round, bringing Maryville to their 6 and what could have been the dagger, thankfully doing heroics.
Man, Maryville just lingering like a bad cold. You just cannot get rid of them, it seems, because they have found maybe some second wind in the second half. STG, though, I mean, valiant effort on the site in tubes, but I mean, Ainge, I mean, that is just a crazy lucky spray through the smoke. And Veyron, you're in such a tough position there. You have to try and push, and you just can't get it done. Maryville, if they could find another one here, you might end up breaking this econ of Winthrop, and this comeback, this might be a little bit more realistic than we were maybe giving them credit for originally.
No, and as of now, it's actually so doable. Everyone, mind you, is also one shot to this outlaw right now that Ren's has, so
Scout destroyed.
you need to be very careful. This B long control, no one should be peeking it, or else you're going to be getting a very rude awakening to what awaits you. It's going to be the Neon. The Garden side is going to be able to find one, and that's your healing gone. STG, no more flashes to enable space creation.
Go.
It's going to have to be done off some of these Seekers for Maryville now as well. You note that the one player is going through labs. The dash is not going to help you out, and you have to think this is the beginning of what could be a crazy comeback. Labs control, and you just got to worry about this one player, Veyron, who's just dipping and diving in between decision-making on what to do here. Note that you have another player who's still all the way back on the A side of things. You're just really more or less playing for the save because there's not really a whole lot of daylight here.
Yeah, correct decision making for Winthrop to try and save this round. Don't give any alt orbs over to Maryville, but this confidence that Maryville has shown in this attack half, and we already know how they operate on attack, no matter if they're down. Once they start to get things going, they get going, and very quickly that round dismantled for Winthrop as Maryville come to 7. Now multiple players on Winthrop are going to be put on a save as this is starting to get dangerous. This is within sweating territory if you're Winthrop.
I'm definitely sweating if I'm Winthrop. And I mean, especially after an extended tech pause as well. Maryville has come out of it a little bit stronger. I mean, that's 4 of the last 6 going the way of Maryville. So they found their second wind when they needed to. And yeah, you called it. I mean, you're forced to save for 3 players. Maryville starting to build up this ult economy again, start to build up their credits as well. So even if for some reason Winthrop find a way to get this one done, Maryville still able to invest in a couple rounds in the future. They need to find something here. Winthrop, Infiltrator with a double, but Shondex and Giza respond with 2 picks of their own to keep us even at 3.
SCG's got to try to play here for this scout to try to get this rifle. He absolutely needs this and has to back up immediately unless, yeah, that's a huge double upgrade at least right there for Winthrop. And this makes it still doable. Giza and company working towards this A side of thing. Bird goes through, and through the smoke, they walk in. That truck side, note that there's a player on the showers. That molly will not hit them, though they are aware somewhat of the positioning. Giza Spike goes down. This player swings out, and Wildfire, he's ready for the engagement. A great job done there from Maryville. They put themselves in primed position to be down by 2, unless Veyron has anything to say about it. STG working around the triple side as now this wall looming. 7 health. He's not going to be able to do anything. Veyron with 1. You down to a 1v1 now, and with the defuse that has to come through, the molly as well, should be enough time burn to get the job done.
What a perfect molly from Ange there. I mean, that wins the round for Maryville right there. I mean, Veyron, you can try and tap, and even if he finds his pick, there's no way Winthrop able to get this one done. Really, really solid stuff from Maryville to keep their comeback chances alive. And now again for Winthrop, what do you do to try and slow this attack down? Because that's 4 in a row in attack for Maryville, and it doesn't seem to matter what map you let Maryville attack on. They just always seem to find a way to get it done and find the correct way to attack and approach your defense.
Yeah, they just piece by piece, they are picking apart this Winthrop defense, and we saw it in Fracture. They're just doing the exact same thing that they've done over and over again, and if they're able to win this round as well with such a heavy investment infiltrator with the operator, then this game is all but even.
Should be all but even, and I think Winthrop, you know, you have to hope that your investment into the op here actually pays off, because yeah, it's so tough when you've given already so much space for Maryville, and they're definitely the kind of team, you give them an inch, they will absolutely take a mile. This is Veyron trying to see what he can see from this hookah position. Maryville not over there yet. Very much a split approach right now. Maybe try and see what they can see. Get some util sent over towards that garden side as they slowly creep their way up B long, but a slow execute coming through from Maryville, and let's see if their patience is rewarded.
So much patience for Maryville. Governor, off of hearing virtually nothing, is going to rotate back towards that A side. The divergent path for Shondex is going to come through as Renz is going to take that elbow space so incredibly quickly. Shondex, off of the dash, finds one in hookah and falling into the smoke himself. Kiza finds another one, man. This attack is so perfect. Maryville, they can genuinely do no wrong, and their timing seemed to be so perfect. Fair and Infiltrator left to pick up the pieces, and they have to save on A.
You have to. I mean, you can't get rid of this attack off. But I mean, Infiltrator, I appreciate you holding this angle in showers, but no one's coming that way, brother. No one is going to cross over into your sight lines, but another unfortunate situation for Winthrop. And I mean, again, like we said, this patience from Maryville, they can execute at a moment's notice. Right when you think they're going to do this slow play, they just explode onto the site and find their way forward for 3 picks. And shout out to Renz as well for using that fast lane and that dash tech, gets over into labs and clears out the rotating STG. Big play, but you do got to throw a little bit. You do got to sell a little bit. Infiltrator does eventually find 1 pick as these players try and rotate. Maryville not able to take the op out of the hands of Winthrop. They will take it into the next one, and I think Winthrop should be thankful that they get a little bit more credits in their back pocket after those 2 picks that came through.
Yeah, most definitely. Those 2 kills, they definitely needed that. Strong Tall Guy going to be the only one on at least a weaker buy. Going to be able to buy the Bucky, which most broken gun in the game. If we're being, you know, the gun's a little unbalanced, but it's fine. Maryville still with quite an advantage. They're gonna switch things up and send a bird towards towers, just trying to take some space if possible. Renz is gonna use the relay bolts as well, and then now it's Winthrop having to kind of shift around. Strong Tall Guy's dog through long isn't going to be able to note out any players, as this default seems to have worked in Maryville's favor. Still have 3 players towards that A site, and now it's Renz who's going to be able to just run in if he so chooses. Yes, you're going to get stalled out a little bit by the flash, but still this site is going to be very, very easy to take. The pit is going to be dropped as Shondex and Ainge are just going to fly in and find those kills. And Renz, even while Governor is satcheling with the showstopper, it doesn't matter, man. Every single time, Fair and Infiltrator, they're left in a 2v3, or 2v5 even, sorry.
And what do they do now?
Save!
The question.
They save!
You have to. right? And that's going to let Maryville take the tie, and now they can go hunting for these exit picks. And if you're Maryville, if you can take the op out of Infiltrator's hands, that is a massive swing in your favor. You do lose Renz as Fair's. He does have the wherewithal to find that one, but with Wildfire there, Infiltrator's going to have to quick peek. Will take him out, is still standing. But the Dragnet closing in on Infiltrator. This can be a pinch play that he is just not going to expect. He won't be able to find everybody. Switch over to the Bucky, and he will fall op out of the hands. Maryville come all the way back from the brink and find the tie. This is a whole new ball game.
It's a completely different game that we're playing right now, and completely different game, but the exact same Maryville that we've been seeing every single time. Maryville, they just come back on their attack half and they find a way to pick apart whatever defensive team they're going up against. This is genuinely insane to see, and the clinic that Maryville are putting on again and again is why we have them winning this entire thing. This is why we have them at the one.
I mean, it's just so tough to think about how, Maryville, they have clawed themselves back into this matchup. They've won the past 6 now in a row, and Winthrop, this is for your tournament lives.
Yeah.
Like, you're on your last leg. You cannot afford to go back here. I was asking, what more do you have for us to send us to map 3? Because for good to be just blunt, you need to. Like, there's no other second chances. Feels so weird that, we're seeing a reality where one of these two teams aren't going to be making that grand final. And right now, it's looking like Winthrop, if this game continues going that way, they're going to be packing their bags soon.
Yeah, and from how this Maryville attack has been looking like, that seems to be in the cards. Winthrop do have a little bit of a fight back this round in terms of Fair and Infiltrator's ultimate. Might be able to buy an operator again in the next round with this Blade Storm, but if Maryville are able to do what they've always been doing, just pick apart this defense one by one, then that's looking hard.
And they've got the Seekers and the Viper's Pit available as well. Like there's still so much depth and so many fail-safes that they have that they can work with. Infiltrator trying to walk up on this Blade Storm. Nothing really showing thus far, but when you walk into market, you're going to start seeing some things here. This kill needs to come through. Swift aim, but the stun as well. The space is going to be exploded on. It's a great shot from Renz, but Fair finds 2 on the lurk and is going to be able to keep Winthrop in the swing of things through market. The Waylay double dash is going to just barely get by the angle, and now you got to start thinking about the fact that their smoke is cutting off the other sight lines as well.
One enemy remaining.
Decision, but maybe not the right one there. Winthrop, you give up a lot for that tie, but still in the lead, still able to salvage a little bit, but Maryville still lurking, ever present right now.
Finally breaking that 6th streak from Maryville. What was looking like a done and dusted game now turned to 10-10 even. And off the back of that short push down from Infiltrator, Governor, and Fair respectively, they're able to clean it up, get it back, and Fair especially going so massive in that round, going unchecked, able to get those 2 picks and keeping that spike in their control only worked to their benefit.
Yeah, you got to be careful if you're Maryville. You don't want to commit to anything too early right now, especially when Winthrop was able to just find one. And you can tell they really want to get on the match point. They're just fiending for it. Governor's going to walk down through showers, find one. The refry comes back through from Age. But this U-Haul pressure from Shondex, it's all good. The shots ring through, though, before the orbital strike hits. Infiltrator goes down, but the kill's already been made. And now in a 3v3 situation, Wildfire, he's completely hiding in this smoke. They have no idea where he is. Veyron's going to die to that, and that position could be huge. Fair, he's able to get the refrag, but it's just trades back and forth, and they're all falling into the hands of Maryville.
SCG, he's still fighting the good fight, though. 1v1 with Ainge, who does have the spike, is going to hightail it over towards this B site, and will get the plant off as well. Will have a molly and a smoke to work with, so is going to be able to set himself up for this post plant. He's going to try and wait and anticipate this push through Hookah. Strong, tall guy. Ooh. is going to be able to hear that. Ainge once again with a massive clutch to keep Maryville's hopes alive. 11-11. Guys, this is why these two teams, whenever they go up against each other, it's always cinema, and we're seeing it once again. These two teams always putting on a good show.
We genuinely can never count Maryville out, no matter how far down they are, no matter what happens to them. This team, they keep going forward, they keep pressing W, and Ainge's spidey senses in that round as well, having the knowledge to, he's going to flank through hookah. I'm just going to jump up, you know, just for fun, and just get that kill. 11-11, very, very close to OT, and Winthrop, all they can really hope for is a miracle win in this round, and if Fair shuts down Wildfire with the Sheriff, then a miracle might be in the cards.
Whoa, wait, that's your Viper, just dead first within the first couple of seconds of the round starting here. A minute 19 left to go, but that is such a big piece missing and a huge first pick for Winthrop, and in such a pivotal round, we're talking about winner of this goes on to match point. Winthrop, they might have the ingredients for the right recipe here. You gotta wait. Disengagement through Garden, it's gonna come through soon. The stun goes out, and you have to try to find the crosses. Giza with one. This mass rotate, though, through showers. It's already here. Look at the A site. It's completely vacant, boys. They're gonna be able to take this ground for free.
The weaker weaponry in hand, Veron only has a Judge. Thankfully, the rest of his team do have rifles, but this setup is looking so perfect. Ren's also aware that a flank could be coming through. This fight between him and Veron has to be so perfect, and off of this off angle, it seems like this should go Ren's way. The retake is going to begin, but all these players, they're going to have to tap, and it's going to turn one head away as Shondex, thankfully, having his players back. They have to spray, they have to stick. Maryville, how do you do it every single time? How do you come back in this manner?
Is that the first lead Maryville's had in
Yes!
this entire game?
Yes!
Somehow,
Yes,
they waited
it is!
until the very end to find their first lead, and now in a prime position to send the dagger plunging into the hearts of Winthrop. What an absolute devastating loss that would be if it comes through, but it's not over yet. If you're Winthrop, you're just hoping and praying to get overtime, to get yourself back on the attack. That has been the favorable side for them. If they can find some success on attack OT, you might be able to salvage what has been a disastrous collapse on Bind, but we'll see what happens. Ren's investing in this attack off. I mean, Maryville, they're definitely feeling it right now. They have all the momentum on their side, and one pick to start could definitely swing things over towards their end. Like that.
Are you kidding me?
Like that.
Like Infiltrator's just going to go down there. There was not really anything developing. Governor, check your corners. The timing, the walk as well. Wildfire knows he's there. Wildfire now has all the intel on that position. Governor's grabbing the ult orb. Sir, I was going to say, you definitely want to make sure you get through that 90 is in showers as you need to get out. Now, STG sitting close in hookah with his Judge, unaware of the fact that all of Maryville, they're pulling off this mass rotate towards the A side.
They just know. Renz is going to pop the overdrive, going to be the first man in towards the site. He's going to no doubt there's at least one in that smoke, but with all that space gained for his team, this spike should go down relatively safely. Yes, he's going to take some damage from the molly, but set play between Ange and Shondex, it's too clean. 30 seconds left. Spike still hasn't fallen. Lots of players still here. They're going to have to at least try and force this issue. Flash out the smoke. They're able to pick up one, but Maryville just ended. 13-11? Are you kidding me? How do they come back to that?
Disgusting.
Genuinely, how?
That's why they're the best. Like, quite frankly, that simply bar none, they are the best collegiate team. And I think that is a type of series that proves it right there, bar none. Whoever is going up against Maryville in the grand finals, man, good luck.
You gotta be
because that is quite a statement to make to 2-0 your rivals at Winthrop, and the way they get it done on Bind 2 to come all the way back from the brink when Winthrop has control, they're feeling it, but
we were at 10-4.
And again, I was kind of feeling it with the longer that tech pause went on. I was like, okay, this just probably benefits Maryville a little bit. You have
Gives you
time
the
to
mental
sit.
reset.
You
Exactly.
get the mental reset, and what happens? They come out of the tech pause, they find 8-4, and yes, they lose pistol. You get conversion, and then they just go on that streak to get themselves in a position to win. That's why you just cannot count them out. On any given moment, they are just able to find miracles and make them happen.
Everyone at home, every collegiate team in existence needs to shiver in fear at Maryville's attack, because how are you coming out 4-8 down, lose the pistol and the round after? You're down 4-10. Like, tech pause like aside, they still came back from an insane deficit. They have the mental, they have genuinely all the tools that they need to come back in such a manner, and all they have to do is execute off of it. Yes, their attack was insane, but I also want to go back to Winthrop. They didn't change their setup at all. They didn't change their defensive setup whatsoever.
Yeah, bro.
All they changed is what lane they fought out of, whether they fought out of short or showers. That's it. It was the exact same players on both sides every single time, and a team like Maryville, they're going to notice and they're going to be like, are they just giving us a site for free? What's happening? Like, you got to, at a point, you got to scratch your head and be like, okay, I guess we'll just take this. And they took it and they ran with it.
Just can't afford to make mistakes against a team like Maryville, and Winthrop unfortunately made a couple too many near the end of Bind, and again proving that Maryville is such an attack favorite team. And I think this was the round that really, I think for us, cemented it's like, okay, maybe Winthrop has got it. Maybe we lose this one, a great one to stop this push. Governor adding another one as well, and they're in such a prime position, but the beginning of the end, unfortunately, as Winthrop just not able to clean this up. Some massive clutches coming through from guys like Ainge and Renz as well. Some massive shots to make sure that things go their way. And it's just a slow and painful death for Winthrop.
What you got to say about that walking Altorp comment, Patrick? What you got to say about that, bro?
We evolved, okay? We are no longer the walking Altorp. We are the Altorp producer for ourselves now.
Yeah.
Look, we went from mega fat negative, and we went completely in the opposite direction. Renz, thank you. You genuinely have shown what it means to be a top player at this portion of collegiate play. And what it takes is the ability to simply not mental chalk yourself, believe in the skills that you know you have. And yeah, I was going to say, Lello, I know you saw, at least if you didn't check that shot the first time, you saw it again the second time around. That was insane.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know the streak that Maryville went on? It was 4-10, and they bring it 10-10. What? What? Who's doing that? Who do you know is doing that?
Man, Rutgers is like a great place in New Jersey.
All right,
And
bro.
it's so sad that they're not here anymore, but it makes sense because, listen, Rutgers walked so Maryville can
What
run.
are we saying?
No,
What are
I'm
we
just kidding.
saying?
I mean, look at Ainge right now, right? 21 and 15 on a real note, was doing so good the entire series. Fair, look at the monstrous effort, but unfortunately just couldn't get anything done. Remember the comment I actually made about Maryville and how their two controllers were just getting no value whatsoever?
Yeah.
Anytime they were put in a situation, it was just too little too late. That was like 10 rounds in. We went from that, seeing both of these two at the bottom of the leaderboards, and one of them rose up to become your MVP. You want to talk about somebody stepping up, putting the team on their back, and getting rounds done when they want to get the job done here, into to put it on ice, send you to the grand final? Ainge is the guy for the job.
Yeah, 100% Ainge is him, and he is who we need in Maryville. Renz, Shondex, going to be coming in at the second and third. Yes, a little low for what you'd expect out of a duelist, but in my opinion, they did their job and then some. They made that space, Renz specifically being so unafraid to just get in there and get the space and the value that you need, because when you're playing that Neon Waylay, you can disrupt literally everything. That Waylay hinder, the Neon stun, you got the Neon jumping across your entire screen. Where do you look? And you saw in the highlights in that previous round, Infiltrator tried with the judge in short, but when a Neon's running around sliding under your screen, all you can do is really 360 and try and hit the shot. It is so hard to do, and it's hard to play into and play against. So very well played on Maryville for using their attack and their Neon correctly.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it was a little bit of a slow start for Renz, it's the picks that came that really started to matter, especially near the latter half of that game. You know, how many times do we see Renz break into a site, use that movement tech to clear? Like the one execute onto B, you know, use the fast lane, you get over into the lab side, you clear out the rotator and SCG, you're able to find that player. If you're not able to get that pick, that's a potential backstab coming through from labs if you're not able to clear it out after the brim smoke goes down. So that makes that execute and that post plant so much different if you're Maryville, but just having that extra cushion of having a better man advantage, so useful and so helpful. So big ups to all the guys at Maryville for able to, you know, to just spark that comeback and just somehow get it done, because it was looking pretty dire. I mean, we were pretty set on going to map 3, but somehow we are proven wrong once again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's, again, just been so many ups and downs when it comes to the NACE Grand Finals. But we've got 2 different ways that you guys can up your game. Right now, first off, special thanks to our partners at Raven GG. Raven is the official merchandise partner of NACE and the premier platform for creating your dream custom gear. Whether you're outfitting a team or building a brand, Raven gives schools everything they need to look their best. Visit raven.gg to start creating today. Thank you, Lelo. And thank you to GG Circuit as well. GG Circuit is proud to support NACE at this year's Grand Finals, showcasing some of the best collegiate esports programs in the country. Behind every great team is the right infrastructure, and that is where we come in. From player management and secure labs to tournament operations and remote support, GG Circuit powers the infrastructure behind every match, every scrim, and every championship moment. We simplify the technology so schools can focus on what matters most, let coaches coach, let players compete. We will take care of the rest, and if you are building or scaling your esports program, let's connect. Go to GG Circuit, because we are ready when you are.
Nice
Hey, good
ad
ad read, bro.
Very good.
Good ad read.
Very good.
Hey, we have one grand finalist that made it, Maryville. All they have to do now is wait. St. Clair and West Virginia currently map 2, 5-7 half. St. Clair is going to be down 5, and I just recently checked 5-8. West Virginia would take the pistol. So if you're St.
Could be a
Clair, you
rematch.
have to dig so incredibly deep to try and force this map 3 and win it out in game 3. Let's see if they have the resilience and the grit. But we just have to wait in anticipation.
Could be a rematch. West Virginia, Maryville, and that was a 3-map series, so that could be really
Ban
entertaining.
Fracture.
ban Fracture.
West Virginia.
We might want to ban Fracture.
Ban Fracture. Ban every other map in existence.
Play on Dust 2, Mirage.
Throw their PCs out the window.
All right, that's enough, man. Hey, you know what? If you guys want to catch some of the other action, though, please visit the main stream. That's NACE Esports on Twitch to go follow along to see what other matchups there are. Link in chat below. But quickly, I want to give also a special thanks to my 2 partners in crime on desk here. Thank you to all of our prod staff as well in the back room. And thank you to NACE as well for providing this event. Again, like I said before, link in the chat. Go visit NACE Esports to follow up with more action. But that's all from us. So sincerely from us to you guys in Orlando, thank you.
Mohica. I am a coach at George Mason University Esports Call of Duty team, and I am a computer engineering and computational data science student. When I first needed a car, I was 18, I was straight out of high school, driving a Chevy Suburban up 45 minutes in rush hour every day, and I kind of just got to a point where I kind of wanted something a little bit more enjoyable. And since it was actually in the same building that I worked in, you know, I went to my dad and asked, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to get a new car. And he said, like, all right, let's go over to InTouch. There was a lot of uncertainty going into this process. I was expecting a lot of paperwork, a lot of numbers, really understand kind of how any of this worked. The person we were talking to was actually a car guy, so he was almost like really excited. He's like, yeah, you're getting your first car, you know, what are you getting? Having a car really helped me travel for esports events, and not only that, it just gives me the ability to be the team dad. I give my players rides, get to campus for NACE matches, and just supporting the team in a bigger way that I wouldn't be able to before. If any NACE students are looking for financial tools, resources, and support from people who care, I recommend checking out InTouch Credit Union. With graduation coming up, I honestly don't think I'd be where I'm at in my financial journey without them.
sweaters in the summertime. Ice cream's better when the snow